What's up, guys? Welcome to the Great Nimbus Debates podcast, the in-betweens version, where we discuss anime, video games, and I don't know, some philosophical stuff with anime into it. Today it's just me and Churro. Maybe Seven Ninja will hop in later. Well, hopefully, we'll see. But yeah. So it's your boy Squall Rush. Uh, Gaming addict, anime nerd, Dragon Ball Z fanatic, 31 years old, all the above. You already know who it is. Yeah, so I've been watching anime since I was technically 6, maybe younger if you count Speed Racer as an anime. I count as 11. That's when I started becoming aware of anime. I've been playing video games since as long as I can remember, like Nintendo Entertainment System days, NES. Uh, yeah, I was like, memories are barely forming, but when I had controllers in my hand. That is my introduction, Churro.
Yeah, how's it going, everybody? Still also me, just Churro-chan, just chilling. I also play video games, love anime. Oh, man, I'm still just a fucking hamster. That's me.
Let me see. I think I need to refresh my Twitch.
Oh no, not the Twitch.
Yeah, because I see I'm Legend message something, but it didn't pop up in the chat overlay. All right, today we will be discussing the new Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero video game coming out. Porco Rosso, and the philosophical question would be, if we could live in any anime world, what anime world would be the best? So I will pull up the Dragon Ball Z gameplay. Hang on, I put it in here somewhere.
Sparking Zero.
Yes.
I love seeing people's predictions of like who's gonna be in the game. And fucking, they literally put everybody in there. Like, it's not a prediction if you're just naming every character in Dragon Ball, man.
Alright. So first, we will go over a little bit of this.
Ooh.
Sharing the screen here.
My power. I'll show you the horrors of hell.
Good old...
Now perish along with this planet!
Yeah, honestly, this looks really, really good. Really.
Yeah. Looks like a good old Tenkaichi. I wish they would have just kept naming it like Tenkaichi in like that naming sense.
皆さんこんにちは。
Alright, let's
ドラ
go.
ゴンボ
Skip
ール
over
スパーキング
this.
ゼロのいましたら、ぜひともバトル映像を見ていただ
You
け
don't
れば
want to see the dude talk?
Nah. So this is basically gameplay footage. It's still under development, like it says down below.
No, I won't be losing
Very
this
much
one,
under
Vegeta.
development. If you watch the gameplay like real close, like the models really don't collide with each other very well.
Oh, really? Like the punching,
like-
and all that stuff?
Like you can see like Goku or Vegeta's hands like going through each other.
Huh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah, I've watched this trailer quite a bit. They also do like a really slowed down version of it, and like it's pretty like obvious there.
Oh.
Good old charge.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. Like, yeah, maybe, like, even if they don't really collide, hopefully, like, they fix that, but I don't know.
Oh
It
no,
just
no,
still
they'll
looks,
fix it.
it still
It
looks
looks
really
great.
polished. Yeah, in my eyes. Like,
Like it looks super good. But they're definitely
Yeah.
gonna clean that up. I do like that they take battle damage.
oh, that's beautiful right there.
Let's go!
You win blue.
capable of.
I think it's neat that you can kind of switch between those.
No hard feelings.
Yeah, I hope they have like other transformations within it, you know, not just like one static one.
Yeah, no, like my favorite part's coming up here in a second. It's something that looks neat. I don't know how it's exactly going to work, but right here, he deflects it. That should look super fucking cool. And I'm wondering if it's gonna be a parry. But again, if you slow it down, like he gets in like this battle stance, like almost this parry stance, for a long time. And so it looks easy to do, but it looks so cool too. It looks like they're at their ultimate battle damage.
I'm going all out. Break through the limit.
This is the climax.
It is great.
Damn. I must have missed this earlier when I watched this.
You missed this? This is fucking dope, man.
Yo,
There
what's up,
he
Seven
is.
Ninja?
Apologies. Oh, I completely forgot about time.
Let's go again. Is that okay
You're
with you?
good.
いかがだったでしょう
Hope
か
you're on it right now.
まず本作は
We're going
シリーズの
over
正当進化
the
作品です
Dragon
の
Ball
で
Z Sparking
面白さを
video.
深める新要素となっております
So
ことにより
so
バトルをより
here
ドラゴン
it's where they
ダイ
like
ナミック
break
で
it
迫力
down
満
like in slow motion and everything.
Oh, that's where he breaks it down and stuff?
Yeah, yeah, they break down like kind of what you see and everything.
Alright. So that was Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero. What's up, D Prince? We just went over some gameplay. Honestly, did you see any of it, Seven Ninja?
I mean, I've seen some gameplay on Sparking, but I didn't catch what you just played.
It's
it was-
literally just a trailer, pretty much.
Like literally, I love the art style. I love just it's bringing more of the anime flair into the gaming now, and so at least for that, I like the idea that it feels like I'm seeing. How do I phrase it? It's as if they're getting closer and closer with every iteration of a Dragon Ball game. That are getting closer and closer to making it so that the pages or the anime itself is coming onto the console screen. You get what I'm saying?
Yes.
I do. I like that a lot. In the big roster, bro. The bigger. Holy crap!
Yeah,
That roster,
it's such a huge roster. Like it's so fucking big.
Let me see this. How much of a roster is it? Because I remember the old
So-
Tenkaichi games were a shit ton of
Here.
people.
Well, just Google Sparking Zero. And like, hold on, let me see if this actually works. Yeah, if you Google Sparking Zero roster, you'll see like an image with like a bunch of hexagons on it, and that's basically what the roster looks like. Like that's the picture of the roster that they have right now. So all of those will be filled in supposedly.
Oh, holy crap.
Yeah, so it's supposedly going to be a shit ton of characters.
So all the viewers out there, this is apparently what it's gonna look like in the future. That's a lot. That's gonna be fun to play with. They even got Chi-Chi in there?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if these are actual like confirmed. Some of these are just people like speculating. That's why I was saying that like a lot of people are like, look at my roster speculation list, and they're literally just throwing like fucking just everything at the wall and seeing what sticks.
I feel like we're gonna get like
Oh.
at least all the main characters of Avery, like every character that would show up in each arc. So
For sure.
Yajirobe might actually be in there. It's a possibility.
Okay.
Now how he's gonna fly might be a jetpack, kind of like Hercule back in was it Budokai
Back in-
2?
Yeah, it was like Budokai 2.
Yeah, like so it's possible. Can he fly? I thought
Who?
Yajirobe could fly.
I'm pretty sure maybe
I
he can
don't
just
think he
like
can.
jump in style.
Probably. Is he supposed to be a samurai, right? Or a ronin? Or whatever?
Yes. He was like as strong or stronger than Goku, like pre first fight King Piccolo. And then I don't know. At that point, he was actually like Goku was still pretty strong because he was like he should have won that tournament against TN, but he lost by a fluke. um, yeah, the video game, I think it looks really good. I wasn't really a fan of the whole Tenkaichi series, but I didn't really give Tenkaichi 2 and 3 a chance. I played the first one and I thought like it was kind of meh. Like like I was more of a fan of the Dragon Ball Z Budokai, like the ones before the Tenkaichi series. I thought that one was good.
And then they
Uh,
combined Tenkaichi Budokai.
yes, like but like I was like I'm a big fan of the Dragon Ball Z Kakarot like fighting style and everything.
Mhm.
And I feel like this is kind of closer to the Kakarot style in my eyes.
Yep.
What's it called? Damn, I
Fun
lost my
fact.
train of thought. Go
Fun
ahead.
fact: Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 for the PlayStation 2 is one of the more higher. It's not one of the more, but it's a high running price for PlayStation 2 games. It averages like at around $100, and I own a copy.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I have all the Budokai Tenkaichi games. I have all the Budokai games, I have all the Tenkaichi games, and I have Budokai Tenkaichi 3.
They're usually the most name dropped too, so it
Mhm.
doesn't really surprise me.
Yes. Yeah, I know a lot of people online, like whenever I like discuss like if there's a new video game coming out, like or Dragon Ball Z, if there's somehow a Dragon Ball Z video game comes up, people always bring up Tenkaichi 3. So
Yep.
it's like, dang, did I really miss out on something by like judging the Tenkaichi series too soon or something?
Yeah.
But
No, it was a solid game. I'm not a fan of the like Tenkaichi or Budokai or even the Kakarot like fighting system. I don't like that 3D perspective. I am much more of a 2D fighting game kind of person. Um, so it's just like I'm very biased in that sense, but it's still like it's there's still good games. Just because I personally don't like the fighting system, I'm fine with it. My big issue with games that have like super huge rosters, like what looks like Sparking Zero is going to have, is the balancing issue. Like if this is going to be a game that you expect to play with like your buddies, like 1v1 them, there's no way they're going to be able to balance out all these characters. There's just no way.
I mean I hope they don't. I hope they make Yamcha overpowered. So
I
he
mean,
can
it's very possible. They could make Yamcha just like super good. Fucking what was it in Street Fighter 4? Dan Hibiki, the character who was supposed to be a complete joke character, actually turned out to be pretty good because he just had a good move set. Like it was, he wasn't like S tier, but he was a solid high B, low A tier. Um, and so it could be something like that. And that, like I said, that's my problem with like games with like super big rosters like that, especially fighting games. There's no way they're gonna balance it out.
Yeah, I can
I
see
feel
that.
like I feel like if we were looking more for balance, Xenoverse would probably work better. Um, you know, Sparking's just got a huge roster. I feel like that's
Mhm.
gonna drop like day one. Um, maybe we get a couple DLCs after that, but I don't actually think this is gonna continue like Xenoverse would. You know, with Xenoverse, they got they got a budget that's constantly coming to them, or they got some money constantly coming to them, and so therefore they can kind of balance a lot more. But with this one, it's like they're probably just gonna drop it on there, and you know, if you're good enough, like you can make even Chi beat like Super Blue,
Oh,
Kaioken go, like you
yeah,
know,
of course. That comes with like any fighting game. If you're good enough, you can make the lowest tier character like win tournaments. Like that's been
yeah,
proven. But it's like it's more just like for the casual kind of thing. Like if I really like playing, I don't know, Yamcha, let's just take that for an example. But there's nothing I can do against Goku, like he's just super overpowered. If I go with like if I go up against like Squall, I'm just gonna have a bad time unless I'm like sweating out every single match, you know, giving it my all. Um, My favorite
Wait,
fighting game, my favorite Dragon Ball Z is Fighters Z. I think that's such a solid fucking game.
it sounds like you're saying you're worried that they're going to give them like different health pools and
Not
different
like that could
powers.
be a
Like,
thing. Yeah. Well, like
I don't
every
think they're gonna do that. I
well,
don't think
like
they'll do that.
every game, every character has like different health pools. It might not be noticeable, but in fighting games, larger characters actually have more health than smaller characters. It's not a lot. Like, let's just say the average is 1,000 health. Bigger characters might have like 1,001 health, kind of thing. But it's balanced out with like their size and like how slow they move and stuff like that. So they could have different health pools. It's very possible.
Come
in
on,
fact.
like Blast Blue.
Mhm.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but like I said, I'm very biased when it comes to like fighting games. I'm a 2D fighter. I don't like
Yeah,
my
I get
third dimension. So when I see this game, I'm just like, man, why would they bring out this game and not just like bring it out as DLC for Kakarot kind of thing? Like, it looks like the same kind of game. It fights kind of similar. Why not just expand on Kakarot and not make like a whole new fighting game? Like, you already have a great fighting game in my opinion, but I don't know. Like, it's still gonna be great. I still love it. I'm still gonna play it.
Yeah, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is more of a story mode type of game.
Mhm.
This one, I think this one they wanted to go back to like one-on-one fighting, 2v2 fighting type of thing. Plus they
Mhm.
wanted, I think like Tenkaichi 3 had such a big market. Like over the years I'm really seeing like everyone really loved Tenkaichi. So I think
Mhm.
they wanted to go back to that and bring it back cuz I guess everybody in like on Instagram when they bring it up, they're just like, bring back Tenkaichi, make it Tenkaichi 4, blah blah blah.
Yep.
So I guess they gave gave the fans what they wanted,
Yep.
and
Absolutely.
I think they really like from what I see, it looks like the gameplay is really polished. Like I'm hoping
Mhm.
like. Cause like for me, like I felt like the Tenkaichi game was a little slow. That was one of my biggest things. But this does not look slow by any means. So I'm like, it actually is attracting me. You know, like I want to play this game.
Mhm.
They're certainly selling that anime flair. Like they're certainly selling the cinematic,
Yep.
the impact moments, the power ups. Everything says like this is it. This is the Dragon Ball game, and so it's like I see that. Yeah, a balance will be an issue. I do see that being, big roster. You're right. It is certainly a big thing. I do. I'm not 100% Churro, but I feel like, and Squall, correct me if I'm wrong. I think they would give you an equal amount of health for every character. But sometimes a character wouldn't have a specific move, or like what I mean by that is like, let's take Xenoverse for example. There are some versions of, let's say Gohan for example, who he'll only have like maybe 3 moves versus like his another version of him, he'll have like 4 moves, and so it's
Mhm.
possible that like what makes it so that this character is weaker than the others is that they don't have enough moves, or they don't have enough moves that do different things. So
Right.
that could be a big issue on that. I kind of see more of that than the health issue, just because of I guess you just kind of just want to see what you can do, I guess. And so I feel
Mhm.
like they would probably want to at least make the health pools good, but the skills, the powers, and the attacks, that's what I'm worried about more.
Yeah. No. Go for it. Go for it.
Yeah, I agree with you because like I remember in like the old Dragon Ball Z Budokai games, you would have like Goku, the Saiyans, all of them had like multiple transformations of Super Saiyan and stuff. Then you'd have like those would always be like a percentage power increase. And then like you'd have like characters like Raccoon, uh, who else? Like no like transformations to give them like some sort of power buff. And then like even some of the weaker characters like Dodoria, they wouldn't even have like like an ultimate move, you know? Like Raccoon had like the Raccoon Bomber, which was like it costed like a crap ton of energy, but Dodoria, for instance, didn't even have that, you know. So that I feel like they
Wasn't his
weren't
attack just a
balanced.
headbutt?
Well, they had she like Dodoria had like a Dodoria beam, which is like it cost like 1 key bar. But like
Mm.
the big ultimate moves would cost like 3 key bars, you know.
Yeah.
But like some of them didn't even have that would be that strong. So I know, I don't know if they like, I know in Dragon Ball Z Fighters, like every character had like a couple like moves that costed like one energy bar, and then every character had like an ultimate move that costed 3 energy bars.
Mhm.
So in the to add to like Churro's point about the balancing earlier, like they actually made Yamcha really OP in that game, just like endless combos for days.
Yep.
Like I forget where I heard this from, but like on Reddit, there's like a running joke that like Yamcha's so OP they have like a Lord Yamcha like cult in there or something like that.
Yeah, no, he's fun to play in that game. He's definitely like he's a top tier character. But like I said, I'm very curious to see how they're gonna like balance it all out. Because like you said in the trailer, you see Goku going from like normal Goku to like, you know, he levels up, he goes to Super Saiyan. Like how is Satan gonna keep up with that? You know, like does he get a power up? And like he's confirmed to be in the game. You see him in the trailer. And it's just kind of like you said, like, do they just give Raccoon or something like that a like a normal, just like, hey, I'm now powered up, or will they give them a certain transformation? I'm also curious if they'll make like different levels of like Goku. Like, will they make like God Goku or Goku Black like a completely separate character, or can you like switch the character, like go from like regular Goku to like the highest tier, like, you know, his God mode, whatever. I forget what it's called. The highest one he's reached currently within the fighting, or is he a completely separate character you pick?
I
Yeah, I
feel
hear you.
like I feel like when it comes to that, it's like Goku base into like Super Saiyan 3 and maybe 4 if they go that route. I feel like that's about pretty much a character. And then like once you get to like Goku red to blue, like, you know, that two different dimensions, I feel like that's its own separate character. But then
Mhm.
I feel like we won't see UI Omen when he's got black hair, but he's supposed to be going like Ultra Instinct.
Right.
I don't think that'll be there, but I think like his Ultra Instinct version will be there. I feel like that's probably what will happen. But if they were to go, I don't think a fight would last long enough for that to work. I really don't. It would be cool, but I really don't see a fight lasting long enough for someone to go through all the different stages. And then
Of a
that's
fight.
assuming, you know, and that's assuming that someone would just let that happen in in an online match. So,
Right.
I
just
was a
depends.
really big. Oh shit! Did you go ahead?
I'm
I didn't know if you were.
I'm done for
Finished.
the moment.
Okay. Yeah, I was a really big fan of like the multiple transformations within like one fight. So I'm hoping they bring that back. I'm hoping but I'm if correct me if I'm wrong. I think like in the old Tenkaichi games, they just had like one transformation like per fight. Like if you were Goku, you can only choose like Super Saiyan 3 Goku and then transform to that within the fight. Uh, like
I feel like you're right.
Churro, can you correct me? I think you had those
I'm
games.
pretty sure you're correct on that one. It's been a while since I've played them, but I'm almost positive that you are correct on that one. Like they only had
Okay.
one transformation.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
if go
based
ahead.
on this game, if like I don't know who made like a Xenoverse, but like based on this game's art style and the overall look, I would love to see this art style, this whole game style, transfer into Xenoverse 3. I feel like this is gonna sell well, but imagine if this particular art style and all that, like what they're doing for this game, were to transfer over to Xenoverse 3. Man, I'm talking about they're gonna be making bucket loads, boatloads of money based off that alone. That this game already looks amazing. Imagine just seeing this impact this with custom characters. Like I already I can see it now. I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm.
That would be it. Oh, go ahead, Churro.
I was gonna say no. They're definitely gonna bring out like this is gonna make them so much money, and even with the initial like huge roster that they're probably gonna bring this out with, or hopefully they do, I expect that they're gonna have like battle passes kind of thing. Like, oh, first season we're gonna bring out even more characters, and then next season even more characters, and from there on.
Yeah, I'm hoping. What's it called? Shoot, I was kind of busy doing something, but yeah, I hear what you're saying about like transitioning to Xenoverse 3. Like honestly, I know Xenoverse 2 just got that new DLC, so I don't know if they're still coming out with stuff, updating it, because that game's been out for a while, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't think it's going to end until Xenoverse 3. Like,
You,
it'll be small updates, but I don't think that game will truly stop receiving DLC until Xenoverse 3 is out,
makes
or at least a
sense.
couple months before it's out.
No, I agree with that. Yeah, like, cause I know Dragon Ball Z Kakarot is still having DLC coming out. Like, I think they had a recent one come out a few months ago, like the 23rd World Tournament where Goku defeats Piccolo. That was really good. So
Mhm.
they got a lot of stuff that they're kind of I don't want to say milking, but they're coming out with a lot of stuff. So I mean, if they come out with Xenoverse 3, that would be like a lot on their plate, but yeah, I could see the money racking in for them for sure.
Okay. Continue. I had a thought, I forgot about it.
I was just gonna say, I don't even think they're milking it. Like, there's a difference between like milking it, right? But right now, I feel like Dragon Ball fans, they're just eating real good right now.
Yeah.
If they bring out like another game after this one, like this is the Dragon Ball Z racing game, then they're milking it. Although if you think about it, that would be kind of cool to choose different characters and have almost like a pod racer style like racing, but you're not racing in a pod, you're just like flying around with them and you have like different obstacles you have to like fight to get to the finish line. Yeah, that'd be actually pretty neat.
Like
I'd play
Nimbus
that.
and all.
Yeah.
Nimbus and what is that? Tao Pai Pai's log? He just throws a log.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Nah, Dragon Ball
Okay,
Z
got
racing game would be fire, cause like I'm just thinking about that filler episode of Piccolo versus Goku when they
Goku,
trying
yeah,
to get
right.
their
Like,
license.
there's so
Uh,
many. There's so many like characters you could have. You could have like regular Piccolo in car.
oh, that'd be
You
great.
got the Saiyan ships too.
Oh
um,
yeah.
Oh my god! I
There's some
forgot about
ideas
this.
here. It's just like, I mean, I could see a couple like ways, like Snake Way, maybe Planet Namek when Frieza's like blowing the place up. There's a lot of stuff there.
See
but
that's what I'm saying? You
here's
gotta
a good
make that
question,
game.
though.
What's up?
What's the story about?
In the
For-
racing game?
No. For
Oh.
Sparking Zero, like, because I just thought about it, like, in a lot of times whenever they do like another version of the original story, there's usually a villain or something that goes back in time. Something happens. So like, I wonder what the story is going to be about.
If it's anything like the Tenkaichi games, it's just like kind of a quicker, like arcade style of the story modes. And then I think if it's like a story mode, you choose one character, if I'm not mistaken. And then you kind of go through a quick version of their story of like, I don't know, 10, 20 matches, I guess.
So, from what I've heard, it's gonna have like now I don't remember if you have to like pick a character, but I have heard that the single player mode is gonna have like branching paths that's actually gonna change the story of the Dragon Ball Z world we currently know. So it's like this isn't confirmed, but I would assume something like, you play as Krillin, and then like you either get to choose to actually save 18 or not save 18, and if you don't save her, then you might go into a universe where Krillin never married her or something like that. But it has been confirmed that they're gonna have like branching story modes, branching paths, and shit like that.
Oh
Mhm.
wow.
hmm So I'm assuming the story mode is just gonna be the story we know, but you can take alternate paths that will change what we already know.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of cool.
Yeah, because I remember reading a thing about it, and it said that it's going to take alternate paths. I forget exactly what exactly it was, but it was like dynamic what if scenarios, and it will actually change the story based on what you pick.
That
And
actually gives me
that's
some
what I'm more
goosebumps.
curious
Yeah.
about. That sounds pretty cool to me.
That
I
actually
think
gives me
there's
some
one of them
goosebumps.
where it's like Vegeta goes Super Saiyan in the Saiyan saga versus
Ooh.
because like Nappa died, he's like actually sad about it or something.
Yeah, that was an alternate path in the first Dragon Ball Z Budokai. That was kind of funny because like Vegeta loses Nappa, then he defeats everybody else, including Goku. You have to play as Vegeta, and I think Goku's the first fight. You don't gain any health back. You fight Krillin, then your last fight is like Gohan, something like that. And then after you defeat everybody, Yajirobe sneaks up behind you, and you're just like, "Hey, I can hear you." And then he's like, "Oh snap! I'm sorry. I didn't mean to like do anything." And then he's like, "Don't worry, I'm not gonna kill you. I need you to join me." Because like I'm all out of henchmen here. And then Yajirobe's like, "No, you're just gonna kill me like Nappa." And he's like, "Wait, Nappa was a Saiyan. He was a Saiyan!" And then he just like transforms into Super Saiyan. And he's like, "Wait,
Damn.
what?" And then like that's the end of like the alternate path. So it was kind of like comic relief. But yeah, that's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's possible they could bring it back, but like, that would be funny if they brought it back because that was a great scene. I don't think many people have seen. You know.
I did not know that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if they bring that back, that would be nice. You could probably look that up on YouTube. What's it called? Other than that, if anyone's got any thoughts on that, I kind of want to do some roster predictions.
Yeah, go for it. I'm down with that.
Let's see.
What do you got?
So of course they got the main roster: Goku, Vegeta, Gohan, Krillin. I'm pretty sure they would have Android 18. You guys think they got Android 18 in there?
Andrew, yeah, they showed her in the trailer.
18, you're talking about 16.
No. Not Bulma. Krillin's girl, 18.
Yeah, I feel like 18 would be there. He's like a main.
Okay, 16.
I feel like 16. Yeah, 16 most likely. Cell Saga,
Okay.
main port.
Yes. 17.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no, I can definitely see the androids. I can see all of them. 16, 17, 21.
Even Dr. Gero in 19, the fat one.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
so.
They're important enough for the main story that I do think they would be there.
Okay.
It like something I think that wouldn't be there would be like Baby Cell, like feeding on like when he's like a beetle. I don't think they would do something like that, but you know they're pretty mainstay. What about what's his name? He looks kind of Namekian, but like he's not. He's got
Pico.
like 3 henchmen.
No, not 3 hands.
No. They kidnap Gohan.
Are you talking
And
about? No.
it's in a movie. I think it's pre Dragon Ball Z, like one of the Dragon Ball movies.
Man, I can't remember.
Oh, Garlic Jr.
Yeah, I think like he may not be a playable character.
May not.
Like actually, may not. I don't think because I think it's like Dragon Ball. I feel like Dragon Ball itself doesn't really like in the other in other games. Like, did y'all see like Dragon Ball, like pre Dragon Ball Z in any of that?
Mm-hmm.
Because if it was there, maybe, but like I don't think they would do anything pre Dragon Ball Z. I just feel like they're not.
Okay.
Plus, they want to get on to like the current story too. So we're more likely to see Z and Super and maybe GT.
Yes. Arrow's correct. It's Lord Slug.
Well, there's Lord
no,
Slug too. I'm thinking about
Lord
Dragon
Slug
Ball.
Lord Slug didn't kidnap Gohan.
It's like Dragon Ball in between Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z. I think is when
Yeah,
Garlic Jr. does that.
The Dead Zone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was a good movie. But if they add him, that would be sick. I would like to see that.
Mhm.
So you said you don't think they're gonna add him?
I feel like they wouldn't. Like I'm sure I know he's got some fighting prowess, but when I think about him, I think they wouldn't add him. Just because it's pre Dragon Ball Z.
Because he was the only character, canon or not, that actually succeeded in getting immortality from the Dragon Balls. So I mean that would be kind of cool.
Mhm.
Let's see. Because
I mean, if they put in like a Big Piccolo or the monkey, like the big gorilla as a playable, maybe.
Uzuru.
But because like when they're like, if they decide to allow that to be possible, maybe Garlic Jr. because he's pretty big in that movie as well, so it's possible. But I don't know. I don't see it.
Okay. What's it called? Because I remember in the first Tenkaichi, they added a lot of like non-canon movie characters, like and like the androids from like Android 13. They added like Janemba, I think. There was like a lot of them. I can't remember like all of them on the top of my head, but yeah, there was a lot of them in there.
I do feel they will show up, kind of like Broly.
Mm-hmm.
Like not Super Broly, but Z Broly. I feel like they will be there.
I think Super Broly
They've got
should
enough
be in
like
there.
clout. He'll probably be in there. How far in the story do you guys think they'll go? Like I'm talking about Super now.
Oof.
They should at least go Tournament of Power arc.
The thing is, though, I don't think Xenoverse has gotten up past that already. Well, I think they're past it a little bit, but I don't think they're as far as current saga. And so I'm wrong on that because they showed like Cellmax and you could get like Beast and all that. But they missed Granola, and I feel like Granola is going to show up at some point. Maybe we'll see something with him altogether. But I kind of hope to see that because we've already kind of seen the old story maybe 3 or 4 times now. At this point, we should really see almost everything up to date, I feel. Even if it becomes DLC.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think they might add it in DLC, but if you're talking about like story mode, I don't know how far they could take it if there's so many branching paths.
I think it's probably just going to be like, you're playing this character and like they have a special moment this area versus like I don't think it's going to be like multiple levels, but more or less just gives you like Krillin won this battle, so therefore let's show you this like episode, let's show you this cinematic or something. Oh, this is what happened. I feel like that's more or less what we're going to get, and less of a branching as in extra story bits. I mean, it's 2024. And we got better consoles than we had back then. It's certainly possible.
Well, I think the way they could make a lot of money outside of, adding DLC characters is like if they focus kind of on the story mode and those branching paths, that would be pretty cool if you could like go through the different arcs of Dragon Ball with a certain character like let's just say Krillin, and he could be the main character, and then the decisions you make will actually take you through almost like an entire story till the end of like let's just say Super. And then the DLC they bring out the other arc, and you could continue Krillin's story in that sense. Like I think that would be pretty cool, the way they could structure that. I don't think that's the way they're gonna do it, but I can always hope.
Crap. I had a point, but I lost it.
I'm honestly curious. Like I said, they'll add all the androids, but Android 21 is specifically like a from the fighting game, the Z Fighters. I don't know if she'll actually be in it. I hope she is.
I think for fan service reasons, she'll be there.
Yeah, Android 21.
Yeah,
like like.
Oh, go ahead.
She's one of the hottest characters in Dragon Ball. Okay, let's just be honest.
Yes,
like, there aren't many in Dragon Ball whatsoever that look as good as her, and it's kind of wild.
Mhm.
It's true. It's true.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
They have her in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, which I don't know
They
why,
do.
but like I guess for fan service reasons that would make sense. So if they got her in Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, they should have her in like future games as well.
Mhm.
And Shiro, I feel like if they're gonna go that route, it would more or less be like kind of more of a Kakarot type of game, as like instead of it being like Goku's. Goku could still be a playable character, but I more or less see that being Dragon Ball Z Fighter. No, yeah, Dragon Ball Z Fighters, like as in what I'm like how Kakarot is. I feel like
Mhm.
more or less that's what we would see as a standalone game more than because if they were to do that inside of this game, that's a lot.
Yeah,
There's a
I
lot
know.
of characters you gotta do that on, and it's
Yep.
like it sounds cool, but it sounds more like a Kakarot type of game.
Hmm. Which I
Mm,
like single player
You,
games, so
Devin?
I'm just maybe just
Devin?
hopeful on that one. But no, I agree. It is a lot, and that's why I don't think it's gonna happen. But I can always cross my fingers.
Yeah.
you guys are still talking about the alternate paths story modes
Yeah.
and stuff. I
Yeah.
think they can they would do something like that because they've done that in the past on like other games like Dragon Ball Z Supersonic Warriors for Game Boy Advance. They had a bunch of alternate
Mhm.
paths. Like even in Dragon Ball Z Budokai, they got alternate paths, like the original one. And Budokai 2, they like completely changed up a lot of the story. And based on things you do, it changes like what can happen in the future. So I wouldn't put it past them to do something like that in this upcoming game.
Another character I also wouldn't mind seeing is Kale.
Mm. I think that would be cool.
Yeah.
I
Caulifla.
feel like they'll be there.
Yeah, I wouldn't put it
feel like
past
they'll
them
be
to
there.
put them in there.
Because there are other mainstay characters like they're all named, but there are other like impactful characters in the Tournament of Power. So I really do see that happening. Yeah.
What about like let's name some like movie characters. You guys think like Lord Slug's gonna be in there?
Hell yeah, Lord Slug's gonna be in there.
Turles, Bardock, Broly.
Yeah, definitely Broly.
What
I think
about
all main. Who's the pirate guy?
pirate guy.
Gohan fights him.
I have no clue who you're
Dang.
talking about. What?
Is that a movie or is that like in a
A
arc?
movie. It's like I'm my father's son.
Oh, BoJack.
Yeah, Bojack's probably gonna be in there. I expect like whoever his main henchmen were, probably be a playable character as well. Maybe even just like 2 henchmen per like main villain. I kind of see that.
Okay. What about the full Ginyu squad? You guys think all 5 members are gonna be in there?
Yes,
Absolutely.
yes, they do it every time. Every time.
And everybody loves it because the Ginyu squad's amazing.
What about let's see.
Yeah.
What about like some of the other universe characters in the Tournament of Power? You guys think any of the ones that not many people can remember are gonna be in there?
Like, there'll definitely be, like, they'll exist. Like, I can't imagine them not putting, like, Hit in there or
Yeah.
Jiren. But, like, with such a big roster, I feel like they're definitely going to put in, like, some side characters that people are like, I didn't expect him to be in there. Like, the alternate Namex kind of thing. The ones that Piccolo and Gohan fought. They could be in there. And they could just represent Namex in general. You know, they could have like Piccolo, King Slug, and fucking just a Namek.
What about
And they could
It's
just
weird to me because they're just called the Namekians, right? Like they don't
Mhm.
have names, and it's
Mhm.
like, and that way I don't know if they'll be playable, but more or less maybe just a cinematic piece, or. And I say that, but then they could just make it like NPCs we can scrap with
right.
for the story.
Hmm.
They may not be playable. You know what I mean?
They could have
So-
given them names. Let me look this up real quick.
Who's the? I don't remember if they ever actually show, but like the really big old Namekian when they went to Namek, the guy who sits like in the chair. They should
Uru?
they should make him like just make him a little young and put him in there. I want to see what he looked like in his prime. Like I know he's just normal Namekian, but he's the fucking like leader for a reason, so he must have been some pretty badass dude.
Sitting there for eons.
Yeah.
So apparently, I think those Namekians from Universe 6 are called Pilina and Salnel.
Yep.
It sounds like a disease.
What you call me? Nothing. It was your name, right? Who was going back to the dad? Who was that fucking pink dude with the spikes on his head?
Dodoria.
Doria. Yeah, there we go.
Doria.
Yep.
I feel like a pool might be one.
Pool. Who's a
Do you
pool
guys
again?
think Ginyu's going? Vegeta kills him. It's before Dodoria, I believe. It's like they meet. He's kind of got purple head, vertical elongated head.
Mm-hmm.
I thought his name was Kui.
Queen.
He is Kui. Someone's called a pool. No, I'm thinking of Xenoverse. It's
Okay.
Kui. I think Ribrianne and her squad's gonna be there. The guy Roshi fought, the duck-looking thing. I see that happening. I don't see the sniper duo unless they're like literally a duo character. I don't see that sniper duo happening.
You're talking about the guy that shot the dog in
Tien.
Majin Buu Saga, right?
Yeah,
No. Sniper duo in Tournament of Power.
the Tournament Power.
Oh, okay.
I
What
think they're
about
shooting at
the-
Tien and
Do you guys think they're gonna add that little tiny character that knocked out Piccolo because he couldn't see him?
Huh.
man. I want to say yeah, but it'd be too broken. I wonder if they're gonna do what Naruto. I think it was like Ultimate Ninja Storm 2 or 3, where they had like cameo characters that would just assist. I
that'd be
wonder
pretty
if
cool.
they're gonna do that. Like, I feel like that's a good way to get a lot of those like low popularity characters in there without putting them as playable. I see that happening. Like that cricket could happen easily like that. Magatamo, the one that cries if you insult him. I want to say he'd be playable, but it's also like they don't move that fast. So that's hard to say. And you got that whole robotic squad from that one universe with that old man doctor.
Mm-hmm.
I feel
You
like
got the
they'll be.
wolves.
You know what? If they're together, I think I would say they would probably be a playable character. But I think separate, I don't think they'll be playable. I think they'll be just an NPC fight until then.
I hope what they do is either give him the power up or make these two separate characters, and it's Gohan can power up into Saiyan Man, or they give Saiyan Man his own like roster spot and make him different from Gohan. That's
do
what
you
I
guys
wanna
re-
see.
They kind of have to be. They kind of have to be too, because
Yeah.
that's a total. Like the personalities are different.
Yep.
What about the three wolves that were the colors of the primary colors? You guys think they'll add them?
One of them got power by damage, right? So like ego. One of them got power
Yeah.
like ego. One of them had poison of fist, and the other one had what exactly? Stretchy arms, I think.
Something like
The
that.
green one, right?
I think there was a blue one. I do remember the poison fist. I remember the guy who got stronger with damage. I can't remember the third guy's power, but
I honestly don't even. Yeah, I don't remember them super
Dude, I
well.
didn't-
I would want to see
Yeah.
them as like a single character that you could almost alternate between the three.
Hmm.
Kind of like how
Yeah. Yeah.
the Pokemon trainer was in Super Smash Brothers, where you could switch between the three
Yeah.
Pokemon. Yeah, I would
Mm.
like to see that with them. That'd be pretty cool.
That's kind of their fighting style too. So I really do see that happening. That guy that Vegeta was trying to learn Ultra Instinct off of, I don't think he'll be there. I feel pretty confident in that. The Power Ranger, I don't think he'll be there.
That scene was super hilarious. He's like, Kakarot could do it, I could do it too.
I'd like to see Dispo. Like, can Dispo fly? Did we know that?
The super fast guy that looks like Beerus, right?
Yeah.
I think I'm pretty sure he could fly. I think there was no
How
flying
many
in
kids
the
does that man
tournament.
have?
Huh?
How many kids does that man have? Holy crap.
You know,
That's the one detail.
as much as I hate him, I wouldn't mind seeing both Oob and Boo.
Yes, I
Mhm.
want to see Oob for sure. I know you don't like Oob, but I really like Oob as a character.
It's fucking stupid. I hate him. But yes, as
No,
much as
yeah.
I hate him, I wouldn't mind seeing him.
Here's the question: do they do GT? If they do, he's probably guaranteed.
Do they do what?
Got Baby and all of them too. If they're gonna do
GT.
GT,
Oh, GT. Oh, damn. That's
feel
a
like
good
they would.
question. Because they added Super Saiyan 4 in Xenoverse, right?
yeah. Super Saiyan 4
Yeah.
Gogeta.
I wouldn't put it past them to add them in.
Do you think we're gonna get Majin Vegeta though,
Yes, I think they are.
or do you think it'll be a power up?
I wanted to. I think I think it would be kind of cool if they could add it to where like you choose your power up. Like you could choose to power up into like Super Saiyan Vegeta or Majin Vegeta, and like you could almost like different fighting styles with them or different power ups with them. But I would say yeah, they would add him.
Mhm.
I
don't know
think
if
they
you
added
guys
him
are-
in the like Tenkaichi 3, right? Or I know that he was in one of the previous games, specifically as a separate character.
Yeah. I think he was a separate character in the first Tenkaichi. I don't know if you guys are too familiar with Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, but you can actually like customize your transformation list. So you get like you hold like the two top buttons down, then you choose one of the like X, square, triangle, or circle to choose a transformation while holding the two top buttons down. And then so like
I
you
did
can
not know that.
customize that list to like Kaioken, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan 3. So like I think it would be better like they could possibly do something like that. Like have a Majin Vegeta, Super Saiyan God, Ultra Ego, regular Super Saiyan type of thing. And then you can customize it to any 4 transformations you want.
I did not know that about it.
And then this goes back to Churro's thing about the big roster, because now you got to include all the transformations.
Yeah.
Like, oh man. Mm.
I'm excited. I'm just excited overall to see this game, see how it goes.
Yeah, facts. But besides that, I don't really have much else to talk about the game. Pretty excited. I know everybody who like talks to me about like the DBZ podcast, like outside of streaming, they always ask me if I'm getting the game. Yes, I'm getting the game. Even like when I'm streaming on Rumble and stuff, people are asking me like they know me as like a Dragon Ball Z fanatic. So like they asked me about it. So yeah, I'm definitely getting the game for sure. Are you guys getting the game?
Probably.
Probably not at launch, but sometime.
I was gonna
Sometime
say
during
not at launch, but yes, I will eventually be getting it.
Okay. Yeah, I know recently I forget his name. He was on Rumble. He was like he's told me if you pre-order the game, you can actually play it 3 days earlier than everybody else. So I'm gonna hop on that pre-ordering train. Get some content out there. Yeah, I need to get some early access content before everyone else can.
Hopefully Rumble will have a category up for it.
Oh, that'd be
It
sick.
takes a while, but like they'll eventually like because I'm thinking about Grand Blue Relink, and like for a period of time, about like a month or two, I didn't have a tab for that, and then like eventually they brought it in. But considering that it's like gonna be new, I suspect it'll be up soon if it's not already there.
Hang on. I think Nathan's trying to join.
Mm-hmm.
See, I know he sent me a message, but I was let's see if I don't see him.
Oh, is planning on coming later? Or?
Nah, he's not. Let's see.
All right, done.
Can't remember where his name is. Need to update his roles.
Have you guys still talking about gaming? Have you guys seen any of that Warhammer Space Marine gameplay?
Oh fuck yeah! It looks great.
I know, bro. I know. I'm especially looking at the customizable classes. Like, I'm gonna go sniper, but you know, it looks good, dude. It looks so good.
Yeah, the Space Marine. I mean, the fucking first one was super good.
I love the idea. I don't know if the first one had like forgot. Did it have co-op or not? The first one?
Not that I remember.
I do like the idea of seeing co-op though.
Yeah.
Certainly. I kind of expect this to warm in the amounts, regular amount there, just to be like tripled at least. I
like the idea of having like a couch co-op kind of thing, because I actually recently learned that there is a way on Steam that you can play couch co-op with somebody else. If the developers allow it, of course. You can, if I buy the game and then you jump on, you can play the couch co-op with me if the game is enabled to do that. You don't have to own the game or anything. And I hope that they have that. That Space Marine game is super fucking fun. It's just so great. And I'm a Warhammer fan in general as well. Like literally, you can't see it, but right behind me, I have my Space Marines and my fucking space lizards.
What game were you guys talking about?
Dude, you know, Space Marine 2. Dude, I was looking at the newest trailer though, and it showed the guardsmen, and it made me feel like, you know, what if we had like you guys ever played Battlefront 2?
Yeah, of course.
Yes.
So like, you know, you can buy like a special character in like in the middle of the battlefield. I would love to see a Battlefront like game for like Warhammer, and to just have it where I can buy a Space Marine and fight as a guardsman with the Space Marine, or fight as that Space Marine.
Right.
I feel like that'd be amazing.
Call in a fucking Inquisitor.
Bro, oh my gosh. Oh man. And to see like the sky battles, like I don't think the lore talks a lot about the sky battles, but like I know some of the Warhammer TV does have like the space battles and stuff like that. I feel like pretty much everything they did in Star Wars Battlefront, they could easily do in Space Marine. That's Warhammer. Easily. So like, honestly, I
just change some models around, right? Well, like it's the way that like fucking, why can't I remember their name? Games Workshop just handles their IP, which I love this about them doing their IP. Where somebody's like, hey, I have an idea for this game. They don't like read the script. They're just like, yeah, go for it, do it. Yeah, they just shotgun their IP out there at everyone, and they're like, I hope something sticks. And sooner or later, somebody who does shooting games like this Warhammer, like the Space Marine one, has to see the potential of like a 5v5 team shooter or something like that, but with like the Warhammer IP. And Squall, for you, Nate knows about it too, just because I've talked to him about it. But Warhammer is essentially a tabletop game where you take role as like an army, and like they have like Space Marines, and the Space Marines are just, imagine like the biggest, bulkiest, strongest man you can think of, and multiply him by like 100. And one Space Marine is just like an army by himself.
Yeah, I'd like to equate it to Yeah, I'd like to quit to like. Did you ever have like army men or like the equivalent of army men growing up? Little toys that you could play and fight with, like that you would you buy just a
Make me
bunch of
feel
them.
old.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have different names, little gotcha names too, and stuff like that. Like Pokemon, I guess, is essentially the digital version of that system. But uh, the um, uh, the thing I like about Warhammer is like take the armyman concept and it's like stick it in a room with a bunch of like that's all the entertainment people have for like the next couple millennia, and eventually it evolved into this ridiculous lore background driven board game with
Mhm.
like bibles of text for the factions you get to play, and it's
Yep.
no joke, and it's the money involved is like $4,000 for a set, and there's
Yep.
many sets depending on how greasy you want to get with it.
You know, I don't want to admit how much money I've dropped on my figures, but it's I have
You
a
can get in
display.
for like cheap. Like
Yeah.
by cheap I mean like $200 or something like that. I think you can get in, but if you want to do what most players do, like when they really get into it, it gets expensive.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
One sec. What the? Whoops.
He's gone.
Whoops.
It's our show. now.
Hang on.
I was like, did I say something wrong?
Nah, you guys are good. Hold up. Let me turn my camera back on. Nah, because I have Discord open on my
This guy
my laptop,
doesn't
so I
like-
can like check
okay.
messages and stuff. And I accidentally clicked on the join
Right.
thing on my laptop and kicked me out of my main PC.
Perfect.
This is part of learning the instrument.
Yeah, we're good on time. What's it called? Seven Ninja. But yeah, I guess we can switch it up to Porco Rosso now if you guys if you guys are good to go on Porco Rosso.
Yeah.
Nathan, have you seen
Yeah.
Nate, have you
Porco
seen it?
Rosso?
A couple times. It was one of the early Ghibli movies that came into the States via Blockbuster.
Oh shit.
And so yeah, it's one of the classics. And back then it was slightly different. It's been updated a little bit, but for the most part, exact same movie. And there's just a couple of things that were a little bit too on the edge, I guess, of the political correct spectrum, where they had to just adjust it a little bit. But otherwise, they left it alone. It really is left alone for the most part. And it was, I didn't know much about it at the time. When I watched it, I was super like just graduated high school, didn't really have a whole lot of knowledge about like background and metaphors and foreshadowing and the other stuff that goes into storytelling. I just like to watch a movie for a movie. Give me an action movie, give me a guy with a gun shooting a bunch of other guys with guns, and that's what I liked. And then I read the Porco Rosso's Flying Pig in a Plane anime, and yeah, and it really grabbed me. It was really well done because they blend the real with the unreal so well, because the planes are legitimate. They look like legit planes that they used during that era. The ships look like ships of that tech and era, but there's a pig flying a plane.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, to Nate's point, I was babysitting one of my younger cousins, and he's a little guy. He's 2 years old, right? But I was babysitting him, and I was watching the movie with him because I've watched it before, and I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss out on anything, and I had it well fresh on my mind. And I thought I was gonna be like, he was gonna be playing with toys while I watched the movie. No, this little dude was enthralled with it.
It's cute.
He was just happy to see it, and I was like, "Oh, this is great."
Yeah, it tells a very adult kind of story. Actually, it's not very childlike with the story. It wasn't, it's really, I mean, it's a play off of the Red Baron, and he was known as being a pig, And so Porco Rosso is the story of the Red Baron, kind of, in a way, and is as I learned about it, originally I didn't know that, and then as I learned about it, I was like, oh, this is actually, there's more to this anime. It's like little onion layers.
Hang on, I gotta look up what this Red Baron is. Red Baron.
You don't know about the Red Baron?
He's a old World War One, I want to say, hero. You've bought, if you've ever gone to the frozen pizza aisle, that is the most likely chance of you seeing the Red Baron.
Yeah, I've seen that. I didn't know.
And that's the origin of it.
Oh, so Red Baron was the highest scoring fighter pilot in World War One. In 20 months of combat, he officially shot down 80 enemy aircrafts, including 21 planes, in the month of April 1917. Damn. So Porco Rosso is the Red Baron?
Yep, it goes on from there, and I believe it's even told in Porco Rosso, if I recall the way they built his plane, that the Red Baron was like, he's basically an Elon Musk of his era. And he funded and built his own plane, his own specialized fighter plane, with all his monies and all the latest tech at the time. It was way ahead of everyone else in the game, and that's why he was able to shoot down so many other people, because he had a custom fighter that no one else had.
Yeah, in Porco Rosso, he specifically says, like, when he's talking to, I already forgot the girl's name, the engineer girl. I can't believe I forgot her name. She's adorable.
Theo.
Yeah. She talks to him, and she's like, she dug up like the things, and she's like, you'd have to be crazy to fly this thing, and he was like, yeah, I flew it. I'm the crazy one.
Yeah, he was the, like, whatever. I think he was German.
Yes, he's German. The original Red Baron. He's German.
Yeah, he's just like I said. He was kind of a modern day Elon Musk when it came to fighter planes. He was just maybe not Elon Musk. I don't remember how wealthy he was, but Baron wasn't a thing they just threw at him. That was a title. He had lots of land.
Yeah.
I thought it was more of like that Princess and the Frog type of like play on that type of story. Like where the princess kisses the frog and then he turns into a human. Except this time it's just Theo and a pig,
What do you guys think is the? Oh, my bad.
No, you're good.
Okay, what do you guys think is the thing that allows him to become a human? Because he does do it like at certain moments. Is it pride? Like, what do you guys think that causes him to become human?
I think it's really close to what you just said. I think it's his ego. It's kind of like when people are around, his ego kind of takes over. And that's what the pig part represented. That he was actually a good person deep down. Because obviously this guy defended his country with his own life and money. And that's what this Porco Rosso is based off of. And that kind of person isn't inherently evil if you think about that, if that's what he's doing. It seems pretty brave and courageous. And at the same time, the guy got very little credit because I think he kind of hated having to kill. It's very likely that was what actually bothered him was, he's going to be known for this.
Okay.
I was going
to remember he doesn't kill anyone anymore after that. After the, he doesn't kill anybody. He's that skilled. It's kind of wild.
So it's a Rurouni Kenshin type of thing where he doesn't want to kill anymore. That's why he because like in the whole movie he has like this bad perception of himself, but I didn't really understand why. To me it seemed like he was a good guy. And then like when they go into his backstory, like about how his friends died in that big dog fight, but like to me I was like, dude, like he didn't really do anything wrong. Like that was just my perspective of it. So you guys think it's because he killed like a bunch of like enemy army people? That's why he's like feeling so shitty about himself.
I think it's part of it. I think it's survivor's guilt.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was gonna say that I think it's humility that brings him back to being a human or a person.
That could be it too.
Because like when Theo first sees him as a human when she's asleep, he is sitting there contemplating, he's not just there for himself anymore. He's gonna fight for her. Yeah. And it's no longer him fighting for himself, it's fighting for her. And I think during that moment he turned back into like his regular self, because he was humbling himself, kind of. It was a humility kind of thing.
Mhm.
And then
It's
she
also
like,
the idea that he. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and then he came back, she woke up, and he had to kind of like it went away for him. He was like, no, I'm doing this for me, technically, kind of thing.
And on your point, it seems like after he lost those guys and they went to, let's call it plain heaven, like it feels as if, actually you kind of see this in a lot of characters, like whenever they lose their squad, like they start doing things alone all the time. And so it's more like what you were saying, like now he's back with the group. And so maybe you're probably right on that.
Yeah.
No, I like this. Like your guys' perspectives just giving me goosebumps, because this is stuff like I'm not even seeing. I do like the idea about the humility. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm just simple. I thought it was more of a Princess and the Frog story, because because Theo kisses him on the lips instead of the cheek at the end, and then like the American, like he looks over like, what hold up your face, and then like it doesn't show his face, so, but we all know what happened. He turned back into human there.
Well, the Ghibli movies, they tend to have they have multitudes of different like perspectives in them every time. There's always a specific lesson, but there's always multiple lessons conjoined to it. So it certainly is probably that as well. It could just be his own self-loathing that's really causing all of it as well. So maybe just in that moment he finally says, you know what, maybe I am enough, maybe I'm good, but then he just goes back. Especially like when we think about the end and she's talking about the you guys remember the bet that what's her name
Gina,
Gina's bet, like we don't know about it, but we can kind of guess. So maybe he went back to being human again in the end based on that.
I would. That's what I assume. I assume he went back to Gina.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I think they could redo it's hard to redo Porco Rosso because it's kind of based off history that's kind of not relevant anymore. It'd be hard to do a sequel to it and have it hit as well as it did when it did back when it did, because there was still some people that were from that war that survived it that would have seen it, and their kids would have seen it, and so on. And so it was more relevant. Now with the generations the way it is, I don't know if the movie will ever be redone. It probably won't. Most of Ghibli's stuff doesn't look like it'll ever be redone.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. They leave a lot of stuff up to interpretation. I really like that type of stuff in animes. I don't like how everything is like always explained. Like I like they'll leave it up to our imaginations. Like the curse, like where did this curse come from that turned him into a pig? They didn't explain that, so I like that. Like the whole turning back into human off the kiss, they didn't really explain that. That's up to interpretation. Did he go back to Gina in the end? We don't know. Like leave it up to our imagination. Or did he stick with Theo? Like in my mind, he went to Theo, because like at the end of the fight when him and the American knock each other out, what's called Gina appears like, hey, don't be breaking any more hearts, all right? And then he wakes up and he wins the fight, and then he gets like later, like a couple minutes later, he gets the kiss from Theo. In my mind, that's like foreshadowing, like, hey, like I've like Gina like accepted in her mind, like, all right, you're in love with this Theo chick now, so stick with her this time, like, and like the whole womanizer thing, like I don't know where that came from, where like so that's
he really doesn't
like,
show it in the movie, right?
Yeah, so like that's all like up to interpretation. This is like backstory you're just gonna have to accept and go with.
Yep.
So I really like that type of style, but yeah, that's just my mind. He stuck with Theo. He didn't go back to Gina.
Can't remember the name.
I feel like I think it's Chris. I feel like and I also, Nate, I have a question for you after this. I feel like he probably did get back with Gina, and I think Chris is he's trying to get to Theo. He's doing movies and stuff like that. If I'm thinking about the ending right now, right? I think Theo's really kind of with a long distance relationship with Chris, and I feel like Porco went to Gina. I have a strong suspicion that that happened. If you guys remember, when they're fighting, there's a point where Porco pauses because he realizes Gina likes him, loves him, and it's like because of that, that's why he gets knocked into the water, and then Gina has to come by. So
Yeah.
I feel like he went to Gina based off of that. But how about you guys?
It
Oh,
seemed
and
like-
go
ahead.
ahead. My bad. Go ahead.
I was gonna say it seemed like there was a lot more atmosphere and history and some background between him and Gina.
Yeah.
You know, and for that reason, usually, even if another one comes to compete for that, usually that wins out. Usually the long time, I've got something going on already is going to be the thing that wins. So I think Gina is a strong contender for being what most likely happened. But maybe they leave it open just for that reason, just for whoever the viewer, which way the viewer wants to go. If they want to start over or go back, it's really, lets the viewer kind of have their ending too.
I'd be willing. I think that the American went back to Hollywood and he just lived his life, and Theo went back to just being like building planes, doing her passion. Because I can't imagine her being in a relationship with the American. She loves fighter pilots. He's not a fighter pilot. He's a good pilot, but he's not a fighter pilot.
Right.
Roscoe is a fighter pilot, and I just can't imagine her being in any relationship with someone who isn't like Porco, who he puts everything into that like the fighter in him. I think she just went back to, I don't know, her family, build planes, keep doing her passion. I kind of like the same thing what Squall was saying. I like the whole open endingness of it. In my head, Roscoe went back and he's with Gina now, right? I am very happy that the Italians are still after him.
Yep.
I thought he was gonna. I in my head, I was like, "Oh, he's definitely gonna do something, and they're gonna forgive him for some reason." But no, at the end of the movie, fuckers still wanted. So I really like that about it.
For me,
Okay,
I still think.
so
Oh yeah, sorry.
go ahead.
For me, I still think that he got with Theo because, like, Gina was kind of like a side character. Like, was introduced in the beginning, and then maybe a scene or two here or there. Theo was like got a lot of screen time. That was like Porco's main confidant. Like I took like film classes, screenwriting classes in college. Like, the main character always needs like a best friend that he or she can always be himself around. And Theo is that person. Like, cause like he ends up opening up to her, like saying like why he feels like shit. Like, because like that's where we get that flashback, and then she's with them through multiple scenes throughout, like from like the middle to like the end. So I feel like due to like her having so much screen time, this is the person we kind of as viewers like start to gravitate toward versus like a Gina, for instance. So like in my head, this is like the who he ends up sticking with, and like the whole like the main fight with Chris the American. He even like brings up this big ultimatum to Porco, like, hey, like, quit being a freaking womanizer, stick with one girl, and like punches him. And then like, and that's where he like brings up the final like test for Porco. Like, Gina's in love with you, you freaking idiot. She has this dream that you'll return back to her in the garden. And then that's where like Seven Ninja brings up, he has this pause, like, what? And then that's like his final like test in my eyes, like, pick a girl. Like, this is your like last chance to become like the next level of human being, this is where you learn your life lesson. Like, pick to a girl and stick with them. And like, for us, like, I don't know if you guys are the same. Like, I wanted him to pick Theo because like this is the person we got to see throughout a lot of the movie, and like that's just my take on it. I hope he did pick Theo.
I'm still going with like I'm hoping he picked Gina. Go for it, Ninja.
Okay, so probably Nate may not have an answer to this, but okay, the fighter pilot heaven, that's what I called it. But I feel like you know what it is, Nate. You have like an encyclopedia mind. So like
So I just saw it immediately. I never looked it up because I just accepted it as kind of that was what you said earlier, fighter pilot heaven. It was where you went if you were the best or a true fighter pilot. That was just where you went, and then you were with everyone else. And you were kind of doomed to eventually go that way because you couldn't live a normal life as a fighter pilot after being exposed to it, kind of. And so he was just doomed to eventually fly into fighter pilot heaven, kind of. But I never really looked into it more than that. But it might even have something. The neat thing when you're looking at Ghibli stuff is you're looking at it through a Japanese culture, and there's a lot in Japanese culture that we just see it as being slightly obscure, but to them has deep meaning. And you never know when you're watching when that happens sometimes.
yeah.
And so to them, they're kamikazes and what have you. Maybe there was a fighter pilot heaven. I don't know.
Wait, no, I actually have an answer to that. And I don't know if this is the right answer. It's my theory. When I saw that, my mind immediately went to the Johnny Cash song of Ghost Rider. And in that
Ghost Riders in the Sky, it's a good
Ghost one. And in the song, and this is part of actual it's German mythology too. It goes real back because it's European and German mythology. It's not American mythology. But the Ghost Riders in the Sky are actually German hunters. And it was said, I might be remembering this wrongly, but there was a certain hunt that they used to do. And it was said that if you were too enthralled and ready for the hunt and you died on the hunt, you went and you became a ghost rider to them. And they were just hunters in the sky. Huh. If you died in the hunt. And so those fighter pilots died during battle, and they went, like what Knight said, to a never-ending, essentially, flight where they can't go. It's almost not heaven, it's not hell, it's a purgatory, but they're kind of doomed to be there. In the song, the Ghost Riders specifically tell the cowboy, go home, be a family man. This isn't the life you want. And I think that kind of fits into the actual theme of the movie, where they're telling Porco, go home, be a family man. This isn't what you want. You don't want to be flying in this heaven with us. This is essentially a purgatory you're never going to escape. And so it's kind of like he chose not to go to that life, or maybe he did. We don't know if he's still a fighter pilot at the end, but that's where my mind went off to when I first saw that scene. It's that song, Ghost Rider in the Sky. And then I looked a little bit more into it, and it's like, yeah, there was a thing about it, and it's if you die in battle or in that hunt, you go to the sky to a never-ending hunt, because you're not supposed to die there. It's almost like a not dishonorable thing. It's not a bad thing, but it's not
unfinished business.
Yes.
Yeah, that actually. Oh, go ahead, Nate.
No, I was just gonna say. I was just gonna agree with whatever you were gonna say. It sounds really neat. I had no idea.
Nah, cause that does make sense. It's like that song, but kind of reverse. Cause Porco, when he's first going up into there, he sees his best buddy, who's actually ascending into that plane, that purgatory plane, and he's like, "Nah, dude, don't go. Like, you got a wife. Like, you just got married. You need to go back to her." And like I should be going instead. So it's like kind of like how like in the song they're telling the main character to go back down, but he's the main character telling his buddy to go back down because he's got more to live for, you know?
Yeah. So like I said, I don't know if that's real. I don't know if that's true, but that's where I immediately went for it. And it kind of like it fits kind of the theme of it. That song and the way it was made kind of fits the theme of it.
Yeah.
I like it.
Did you one of the neat trivia things of Porco Rosso is one of the reasons it became popular was originally it was really only viewed on international airlines.
Really?
Yeah. That's where it got a big start. Was Japanese Airlines bought the DVD and played it on the line because they needed I think it's if you look at the length of Porco Rosso, it's kind of an odd length. I mean, I don't what's the length of it? Hang on, double check on that. 94
Really not
minutes.
that long.
It's really not that different. It's like an hour and a half, but they needed a movie to go that length of time between like this flight from where it would pick off and land. They needed some sort of movie that would be a good length. And Porco Rosso was one of those movies.
Yeah, Porco Rosso is like an hour and 33 minutes. So 93 minutes.
Yeah. But it was that's what I'm trying to remember if there was anything else about that, but that was one thing that was unique about that one as opposed to other Ghibli films is the aviation industry actually really helped promote it, and that's why it became such a huge success. Is people really liked it. Adults really liked it. It was an adult level movie. It wasn't really for kids. That's why it worked.
Yes, because I know there's like an old.
I gotta mute my mic for 1 second. I'll be right back.
Now you're good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because there's an old movie that we had to discuss over in one of my film classes in college. I think it was Casablanca, something Blanca, like a really old American movie. And in the opening scene, you got the main character smoking a cigarette. He puts it down on a small table next to him, and it has the table has a cigarette and alcohol on it, and basically we discussed this what does it tell you about the main character, what do you guys think when you see a main character smoking a cigarette or drinking alcohol or something?
Are you asking us?
Yeah, I'm asking you guys. What do you guys think about the main character?
I mean, I guess
Okay.
If I was thinking about that in the sense of back in the day, I would just assume that's a normal character because 1920s, 1930s, smoking a cigarette and eating and drinking alcohol, that was a pretty common thing. That was a common thing in a household.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I would say
versus
that's a
person who
working
doesn't.
man.
But versus a person who doesn't do that stuff, who would you guys say has better character?
Right.
I feel like when you think about usually you're thinking of the straight-laced, the clean character isn't smoking or drinking or anything like that. But usually he's probably more of a villainous type of character, or just someone on that side. And so yeah, I could certainly see the difference between that.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, the point is when you see a main character smoking, drinking alcohol, it means he has some repressed memories. He has some things a shady past and he's trying to reform. He's a main character. What's the word? Like the main character of House, the doctor. He's an addict. So he's got I can't remember the word. He's a main character with villainous traits almost. He's not all the way good. He's
an
just,
anti-hero almost, but not really an anti-hero.
Yes. So basically, Porco, he's seen smoking a cigarette multiple times throughout the movie. And this is kind of confirmed throughout the movie. He's always in this sulky attitude, yeah, middle-aged men are all pigs. He thinks really shitty of himself. He has he wants to reform. He's got some bad qualities he obviously sees about himself. So that's kind of my take on it. He's smoking cigarettes. He's got he's got that bad past of his friends leaving into the fighter pilot heaven and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. You see, my thing about it is the only reason, one of the main reasons I think he ends up with Gina and not Theo is because you're correct about the storytelling and the script and all that kind of stuff. But I personally don't think that Studio Ghibli, oh my god, I can't remember why was his name slipping from me, the director, but I don't think he went with the traditional, right? He was always doing something, I wouldn't say better, or I would say better, but he was always doing something different. And one interesting thing that I find about Porco Rosso is that it technically doesn't have, this is going to sound kind of weird, it technically doesn't have a story. Like if you told somebody what is the story of Porco Rosso, you would just the whole movie is just kind of you live a few days in his life. He
Beauty
goes
and the
out.
Beast without a climatic ending.
Yeah, he
Really.
goes out, he does a bounty, he goes out, he has to rebuild his plane, he's fighting a couple of pirates, they challenge him, he takes the challenge. There's no story. The story isn't him trying to get back to normal. He's not trying to find love. That's just something we see as part of his life. And that's why I think he ends up with Gina, is because he wasn't trying to find love, he wasn't trying to turn back to normal. Theo was just there to show him that he isn't as bad as he was, or he thinks he was. She was just a catalyst of him to become better, essentially, because the story is just him living his life.
I did see something that actually was, according to this, was quoted by Miyazaki himself. About the ending. About this exact thing we've been talking about. Now, I can't find direct, there's not going to be a .org, confirmation official statement site, but this is on a Reddit, and it says that he actually answered where he went like this. He says, if you look at the right side of the island at the end of the movie, if you look at the right side of the island, which is where Gina has her back garden, Porco's plane is parked there. Now, apparently he's flying over, and you can see this in his reflection of his mirror or something like that. But Porco's plane is parked there in Gina's back garden, which means Gina got her wish that Porco would visit her, and by this implication, they're all happily ever after with each other. So apparently there is a part in the movie where, Porco Rosso you can see Porco Rosso's plane parked in the back of Gina's backyard, essentially.
Oh.
I'm gonna have to. Yeah,
I didn't know that was.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, go see that again.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Churro, he said there's no story there. To me, I do see a story, because there's in screenwriting, you gotta have a main bad guy, which was the American. There's the plot is, can he beat the American? At least in my eyes, in the rematch. And there's got to be some sort of moral that he's got to learn. And in my eyes, it's, can he forgive himself?
Right.
Because I think he finally forgave himself once he beat the American, and he got the kiss from Theo at the end. And what showed that he actually forgave himself was that he turned back into human. Because the American, I think Chris is his name, he when he looked over, he was just like, wait, your face, let me see your face. I think that was basically telling us, the viewers, he turned back into human. So he learned whatever moral he needed to learn throughout the story, the movie.
I don't know if I would say he's learned it completely. I feel like he's recovering. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's going to take some time, but I feel like like Churro said earlier, Theo's the catalyst. She's showed him something. But now with Gina, over time he's going to become better. And it's just because we know before, when Theo was sleeping and she woke up, he'll have moments where he turns into human. But I feel like we now see him recovering at the end.
Yes, because he was on the right path, but not fully there. So I think when Theo woke up and saw him as a human for just a split second, it was just showing us hints that he's on the right path to learning the new moral of his life.
Right.
That's just my point of view.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, when I say it has no story, think about the reason I say that is think about slice of life animes. They technically have no story. Now, they give you stories and things to care about, are they gonna win the fucking sports festival? Is this person gonna pass their test? It's a story that we're given, that we kind of hope the character does better for themselves and everything. But at the end of the day, slice of life animes have no real story. They just, you live in the life of these characters, and that's what Porco Rosso felt to me. Him fighting the American, that was just because somebody brought that to him. He didn't go out and seek a challenge. If
Mhm.
if nobody had messed with him, he would have just still been in his island chilling. He would have never met Theo. It's because things happened to him and we just lived as the cameraman next to him, essentially. That's what I mean. Mhm.
Yeah, no, I think you're absolutely right. I think also Squall, when you said earlier, the Princess and the Frog, or again, I also like to relate it to like kind of Beauty and the Beast a little bit, in the same wheelhouse anyway. And neither one of those stories, the only reason Beauty and the Beast would be a story is because there is a fight sort of at the end with the village people against the beast, kind of. But it doesn't need, when you think about that storyline, it doesn't actually need that part. And in that, if it didn't have that part, it'd be almost identical to Porco Rosso. Porco Rosso, I think, did in like 19, if I remember what it was like when it aired in 1992, was like the #1 Japanese film.
Mm.
It was, and for a nothing storyline, people loved it.
Can we talk about how often, the pirates rob somebody? The kids were like, "Yay, we're getting kidnapped!" Like, what do you mean by that?
What is this, Somalia? No, I'm kidding.
Like,
The thing was, the pirates actually cared about them. Though they were like, "Yo, put them together, yo." Like they're friends, obviously.
I would love to live in Studio Ghibli Miyazaki's universe. I think he'd be the funnest god to run a show. If you want to talk about the universe to live in, that's the one. Miyazaki's. Just don't watch Grave of Fireflies. Just other than that,
Grieve
that
of
one will.
Fireflies, you
so
said?
Spirited Away.
Yeah, Grave of
You know what it was.
Fireflies is not meant to be a happy movie. It's a very sad tribute movie. Do not watch it if you're in a sad state. It is not a good idea. It's great. It tells the storyline well. It's one of a lot of people really like it. But as far as other Ghibli movies, it is not the same. It is the black sheep of the Ghibli. Not that it's bad. It's just different because it's not going to make you happy when you're done watching it.
Okay. That makes me want to check it out even more.
Oh yeah, it definitely do. Like I said, definitely do. It's unique on its own, but it's not like his rest of his work, where the rest of his work is like. I would hate to see. I don't know if kids would even like it. They'd probably watch it because it's colorful and bright in some parts, cartoon wise. But it's very adult themed and almost historically tribute like.
Sounds like some cyberpunk Edge Runner stuff.
Yeah, I think if it was based on the historical level, yeah.
I wanted to bring up, like, you said something earlier at the beginning of this topic. You said like Porco Rosso was like kind of had like, I don't know. I think I can't remember the exact words you said, but it had something bad about it, like controversial maybe.
So the different versions, yes. There's two versions. The original 1992 version that came out back in the day on VHS and was rentable at Blockbuster and such. There was a couple things that they changed on it that was just different. Not really so much with the storytelling, but with just the graphics. Because eventually Disney, a lot of people don't know this, but Disney's been involved with Ghibli for a long time. Almost since the start of Ghibli coming to America, they've been in bed with they've done it through Disney as a studio. And so when they released it here, they had to update it for American censorship because anime is really weird with American censorship back in the day. They just went and labeled it all R18, meaning 18 and up only. And so even if it was like even some Sailor Moon movies would have that. And there was really, just because the transformation scenes would show the silhouette of a female body without clothing. And that was pretty common. So the way they got around that was adding clothing. And it was no different than that with Porco Rosso in the original scene when he saves all the little girls from the pirates. And they're jumping in the water and swimming because they're on the swim team. They weren't wearing tops. They were just wearing pantaloons. Now, there wasn't anything detailed or drawn about it, but it was just one of those little things that's different in the old version from the newer version. Stuff like that was altered.
Yeah, I think
the smoking was probably taken away. If I imagine if you watch it right now, if Disney's still involved, maybe I don't know if the smoking's as heavy as it is now or not. But the Japanese culture is one of the heaviest smoking cultures, and so that makes sense that's in there.
Okay, that makes sense. I thought they changed up like Theo's age or when they updated it or something, because like like in America like 18 is the age of consent, but like in Japan I think it's like 16 over there. So I thought maybe that's what you were hinting at.
no, it's nothing that much.
It's
I think
possible too.
I think the biggest change that they did was in the scene where it's like a flashback and you see a fighter pilot or a kid, two kids flying a plane, and one of them's a girl and her skirt flies up. In the one that they have now airing on Max, she has like full pantaloons on. I think in the original scene she had like shorts on, like you saw more leg instead.
Right. Yeah.
But that's the kind of change that they made. Nothing.
Sometimes,
super.
yeah, and sometimes like what you said, sometimes the older version will say 14, and the
Yes.
version we see will say 16. Even though I thought it's weird, but it's like really over here it's 18, but for some reason we're okay when we meet in the middle.
Yeah.
The censorship, it allows it. It's like technically this isn't allowed, but really we're just gonna put it right here, because I think that's kind of that's the global average if you had to find an average age.
Yes. I think the version I saw they said 17, but that kind of just adds to your point even more.
Yeah. They really cater to the audience over there, which is, the younger people for the most part are the ones that are going to be buying manga and watching anime. And so it makes sense to go as young as you can, because then you keep that audience a little bit longer. So that's why some characters seem ridiculously young in some anime series.
Yeah, I don't know. The more older I'm getting, the more I'm starting to really like the more adult type stuff. Like the kid stuff is still cool here or there, but like I'm always expecting a happy ending. Like whenever like the main character comes into like a struggle to save somebody's life or something, I'm just expecting everyone to come out alive in the end. So
Right.
like I'm like the more like adult stuff like Berserk,
I was just gonna
Cyberpunk,
say
Edge
that's what I cut my teeth on.
like those type of animes and mangas, like those are the ones I'm kind of like transitioning towards. Like I can't really find that many like right now, because like
How about Cowboy
all I'm
Bebop?
seeing-
Have you watched Cowboy Bebop?
Yes, I've seen that one. Like animes like those I want to see like nowadays. I don't know, what about you guys? Like Porco Rosso is not really like a bad ending, but it's like more of an adult anime that I'm like leaning more towards now that I'm older. What about you guys?
Man,
I kind of do a mix of both. I look, okay, you know what killed like watching like the Fairy Tail? I want to just go ahead and say it. Fairy Tail. I hate Fairy Tail with a passion. I've never seen them redo the same same premise over and over. Like, Dragon Ball does that too in a way. They get stronger, something. But like Fairy Tail, they literally did the same storyline.
the main
multiple
character.
times.
It took forever for the main character to do anything new.
And then it's always the power of friendship. Like, oh my god, bro. Oh my god. Like, okay, look, if he won because he learned a new skill or something, and he just figured it out, like, maybe he figured out how to make his power work a little better. I'm like, okay, cool. But then you say, no, I'm doing this for my friends, and I'm like, no, you're not. Get out of here. So, Squall, don't watch Fairy Tail is all I'm telling you.
Yes, it seems like in Fairy Tail, all the B villains always end up friends at the end, and so the cast just gets bigger and bigger and bigger.
Yeah, I watched a couple episodes.
They're gonna watch One Piece.
I was gonna start watching One Piece, but I haven't yet.
You got a long time.
Yeah.
Save
You got a while.
if you read faster, save yourself some time and read the manga. You'll get through it quicker.
Yeah, it's one of the few scenarios where that's actually legit advice.
Mhm. But no, I was gonna say for me, I'm always seeking escapism. Like fuck real life, fuck adulthood. For me, give me all the cutest shit you can think of. Like that's why I love slice of life animes. It's like, look, they live in a perfect world where they don't have to pay bills or anything. Ah, what a good time to be alive. So, as I get older, I just keep seeking just like things to escape. It may help me escape my real life. So for me it's always kind of like that fantasy,
Oh,
that like really cutesy stuff.
All right, real quick. PJG X Gaming is ready to stream.
Oh, thank you.
Appreciate it.
Shit.
Damn, I was trying to do a sound
Oh.
effect, but I kind of failed there. I was trying to spam it.
We all thought of the same one.
It's the go-to
How
now.
did you guys feel about Gantz?
Gantz?
What was that?
Gantz.
Ooh,
Gantz. How did you guys
Yeah.
feel about Gantz?
Gantz was a surprise to me when I rented it. Again, that was another Blockbuster video that oddly enough made it over here. And the cover doesn't do you justice for what is Gantz. You know, it's the word doesn't mean anything, right? The word Gantz,
Mm-mm.
what does it mean? So you rent it and you watch it and you just see people get turned into ketchup and you're like, wow. You know, this is amazing. You know, but also not expecting it. This is not something you saw in the standard Bugs Bunny or, you know, Ninja Turtle reels. You know, this is new.
I never watched
Gantz?
Gantz actually.
How do you spell Gantz?
Gantz.
Yeah, with the Z.
Yeah. Hey, did you read the manga after the movie? Like all the way through?
No, unfortunately, I haven't read much. I used to read a little bit, and then I kind of got away with it because it's just too much book collecting. I move around a lot, so it just kind of got away from me. But
The scale keeps rising. The scale just keeps rising. Oh my god! And they don't really like they get somewhat stronger, but it's
Mhm.
like he starts having to get smarter. Like he really has to get smarter. Like everyone in the main fighting crew pretty much has to get smarter because if they don't, it's pretty much over for everybody.
It's pretty cool actually.
Like,
I do like hearing that.
mhm.
I watched Fairy Tale for a little while, but it was like you said earlier. It took a long time. It felt like for the main character to develop really if he had any steps, they were just itty titty baby steps. You know, there's little small steps. There was no Super Saiyan 1 and Super Saiyan 2. That doesn't exist in Fairy Tale world, from what I remember, with the main character. And that's kind of why I stopped watching it. I was like, I watched you for like 4 seasons, I want to say 5 seasons, and they teased that you could develop and evolve your powers in like the very like mid season 1. And then after that, you never saw it again. It was like, when's he gonna hit that next level? I don't think he will.
So never watch Fairy Tale, watch Gantz instead.
Nate, what do you have you heard of the theory that Lucy is supposed to be the main character?
For no, I didn't know that.
Fairy Tale.
Really? Huh.
Yeah, I heard that like it was 2 years ago. Matter of fact, like Lucy is supposed to be the main character. It's just she's on screen, but she's not on screen. You know, like so I was like, I don't know about that one, but I would say if anything, she's the only character that really evolves in some way.
Yeah, she also
Um,
had like a cool superpower. I thought at first when I started watching the anime, it was new to me, and she had like a summoner ability. I was like, oh man,
Yeah.
she is going to be the broken one because I've watched Naruto and I know how that went. if you can summon a demon spirit, you know, that's the epitome of it.
I learned to unlock all my chakras. I'm just gonna summon a demon. Good luck. I guess going to different animes and stuff here. Squall, you want to move to the next topic?
Yeah, sure. All right. So the final topic for this podcast is what would be like an anime world that you guys would want to live in, or like, what is the best anime world to you guys?
So I wanted to ask this question because I feel like it matters a lot. Would I actually be a main character, or at least a side character, or am I just like a fucking NPC in the background? Because I have answers for both of them.
Yeah, what color hair does he have? Is it
Yeah.
brown or is it multicolored?
Yeah, you can be any character you want to be in this world. You can be a main character, side character, or just like an extra.
So, because like, if I was just like a normal person living in the world, I would choose My Hero Academia because I have the highest possibility in that world to just have a superpower. I know that the superpower can be super stupid, like, hey, my head is now a hammer. But I could also roll high and be like, hey, my sweat explodes. and like with that kind of thing, I would choose My Hero Academia because like if I chose like something like Naruto, man, I'd have to work really hard to be a fucking ninja. Or any other world, I would have to work super, super hard to get what I kind of want to be. In My Hero Academia, if I was just a normal person with like a lame superpower, at least I'm a normal person with a lame superpower. But if I got a cool superpower, I got to be a hero.
All right, so if you can have any quirk in that world, what would it be?
I would just choose what is it?
And you can even make up one if you want to.
It's I really would still pick like the simplest one of invincibility. Like
Okay.
I want to be not. I'm sorry. I think I said invisibility. I want to
Invisibility.
not be seen. Yeah.
Okay.
One of my favorite characters in My Hero is the Invisible Girl. And I would just still, I'd be like, hey, I'm invisible too. I just, but that would just be one of them. Mhm.
Seven Ninja and Nathan, would you guys live in My Hero Academia world? And if you were, who would you be? Like an NPC, main character, side character, and what would your quirks be?
I'm a code ninja. Go ahead.
Okay, well, I probably wouldn't live in that world. I have another world. I've mentioned it before, but I'll tell you later. But what kind of powers would I have? I guess I would have worked with the idea of darkness. Now that's coming from the idea of ninja and all that. But have you guys ever seen Origami? The game Origami?
The fox?
No, the Origami. It's like a stealth. The first game's more stealth than the second one, but it's a stealth, dark, shadowy ninja game. And anyway, like they can put shadows on the wall. They could teleport to those areas. They could sneak in their shadow. So something with that. Ninja, whatever. So probably that. And I probably would, if I were to choose a master, it would either be was it Edge Shot? Is it Edge Shot?
Which
sounds familiar.
It's either him or Eraserhead, or him would probably be the best teacher to have.
Yes, Eraserhead's the best.
Alright, why wouldn't you live in the My Hero Academia world? Oh, I kind of want to know
Well, I don't know if you guys have ever seen Grand Blue Fantasy, but they have magics possible, and their steamwork abilities and stuff is pretty amazing. I mean, they've got ships. Their ships have the ability to be a spaceship. They have technology that's somehow steampunk, but also like magical aetherpunk type of stuff as well. They've got like floating islands. I mean, I'd be a little worried about falling off the island to my death, but like other than that, the idea of being in the sky, the giant blue, it'd be kind of scary. I'll admit, being on an airship is the only thing you've got, kind of like the Jetsons falling through space and landing, I guess, on Earth. I don't know where they are in Jetsons, but I kind of like Grand Blue's world overall.
Oh, so you'd rather live in Blue versus My Hero Academia?
It's
that-
probably about as I mean, you'd have to deal with like gods and stuff if you were if you were going to assist the main character, because more than likely, if you have an ability of any kind, you will be assisting the main character. So I'll probably have to fight a god or two, but other than that, you know.
Like, what? It's still a nice world, yeah.
I mean, like, I guess the question is like, you don't have to pick one. But it's just like we're going around choosing our anime worlds and seeing if we would all live in like these worlds that we pick.
I'd be there, yeah. I would certainly, because it for the most part it is an alright location. I mean, the average person isn't really getting killed that easily. Besides, like, where's the anime at currently, Churro?
For what? My Hero?
Yeah, where's it at right now?
Honestly, like, a lot of people think that it's ended. Or, well, the anime? I don't know where the anime is at, but, like, reading the manga, they just went through, like, a big fight, and they have even, like, an epilogue and everything. Where, like...
Okay.
Mhm.
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
I more than likely, I'm going to be in danger around that point, or, like, Villain Academia. I might be a little more worried then, but for the most part, because I don't feel like the average civilian gets killed that often, so, like, I feel like we're probably going to be alright for the most part if I was a civilian.
Yeah.
But, you know, sure, I might have to fight a giant gorilla, or maybe I gotta deal with all for one. I'll be alright, you know.
Yeah.
All right, Nate, your turn. Would you live in this world? Why or why not? And if you were, who would you be? And your quirk.
So the My Hero Academia is a fun anime. I like that anime. That's a fun world, I think, to live in. But you really are rolling the dice on whatever your superpower might be. And so my concern was, I'd be like, I'm a super asthmatic, you know, like that would be my poor roll of the dice, you know, but then again, maybe I could cure cancer, you know, it could go either way. So I think I would roll the dice on it. Most of the powers in there don't seem to ever inhibit completely. Like, you don't ever see like superheroes in there that are like stuck in a hospital forever because their superpower really screwed them up, with maybe some minor exceptions with some. Like, I remember there was some chick that, or not, I don't remember if it was a chick or not, but it was some character that had like the ability to do a black hole or a void or a vacuum.
Oh,
through
yes.
their fingertip.
She has the astronaut suit on.
Yes.
Yeah,
13?
and so like that kind of superpower could happen. You know, where you end up with a power you can't control and you have to have a suit. Otherwise, you know, I don't think that character can go without the suit. I think they have to wear it. So there is that
Yami's
possibility.
problems also was pretty tough.
Right.
So,
yeah.
wait,
yeah.
what did you say your quirk was? I think I missed it.
Oh, man, my quirk in that, I really like the shadow. From what I remember, the character that had like the shadow.
Oh, the
creature
bird dude?
demon.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually really thought that was a really cool power. It reminded me of Elfen Lied a little bit.
Yes.
If you ever watch Elfen Lied, they have invisible.
Man.
Yeah, they have invisible arms that come out of the back and do all the dirty work for the character. And it kind of reminded me of the demon form that came out of him, kind of doing the same thing. And I really liked that. I thought it was a useful one.
I also really like that, but in my head, I kind of think that's another entity that lives kind of within him. So can you just imagine, like, always going to the bathroom and doing what you do as a normal life, knowing that there's just another being that lives inside of you that sees everything you see?
Here's a question for you guys. Do you think that is actually a split personality? It just formed on the outside, kind of like Hulk in a way?
Oh, I could see that. I never thought about that, but that could be it, yeah.
Yeah, that's an interesting.
It's just like, you know, he's not really traumatized, but when you think about how Tokiyami is, he is like kind of, maybe it's just his persona he's trying to put off, but he kind of has a different personality to his shadow. So I
That's
wonder.
why he puts on the bird mask.
Look up Grand Blue real quick.
Grand Blue.
Yeah, I'm not as familiar with that one when I heard. see an image of it if I've seen it before.
Who?
I'm telling you, if you
Is
have
it-
a power, if you're just good with guns, matter of fact, if you're just good with a blade, you're more than likely you're gonna get picked up by the main guy. So more than likely you're gonna have to fight a god. I'm just telling you.
Yeah. The Grand Blue universe looks cool. I like it. Like the anime I was thinking of is an obscure one that isn't really. It ended a long time ago. It had a lot of episodes, but the idea of living in this world I thought sounded like a lot of fun was Toriko. Toriko is I want to say like 270 episodes. It was not a short run anime. It was actually quite long, and it was the same anime and art style for the most part as Dragon Ball Z, with the way they kind of drew some characters and stuff. I think might have been the same studio. I'm not sure.
It's the one with the blue-haired guy, right?
Right. Yep. Then, in
Yeah.
fact,
It's
One
super
Piece
thing,
has a Toriko One Piece crossover at one
Mhm.
point. History.
Oh.
It ended like 10 years ago, I want to say, maybe even longer. But it wasn't great, but it went for so long that you got to see so much of this world, and like everything's kind of edible. Like you go to if you want to go to San Antonio in Texas, right? If you go to San Antonio will be known for being made out of cotton candy and licorice, or have special ice cream fountains that erupt out of the earth and you're just immediately edible. There's a lot of the Toriko world where you go around eating. The art was kind of there isn't a single attractive female character in the entire anime, I swear. Out of 270 episodes. They do have female characters in there that are kind of like Balma-esque, like they do have them in there, but they don't sensualize them or anything like that, or really give you any fan service. They're there. They're there to help the troop, but there's no love interest out of 270 episodes. There is no love interest. The main character Toriko and his sidekick, that one could be argued as the love interest, even though it's not supposed to be. Is they're just way too social with each other, where it's just kind of almost uncomfortable at times. Where you're just like I know the power of friendship is a big thing in Japan, but this is really friendly. The sidekick hero is but they go around killing these giant creatures, and the creatures are just like giant walking steaks that they just cook up in awesome ways and eat awesome dishes, and it's a winning formula. Anime food looks so good. You just want to watch it because you want to feel like you can eat it. And any anime that does that consistently, and Toriko was one of those, every episode they had something that looked good and fun to eat.
Mhm.
Food Wars, dude.
Yeah, I was thinking
Oh
Food
my
Wars when you were
God.
talking about that.
Fun fact: I actually have a signed, it's like a signed postcard from the voice actors of Toriko.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh shit.
Yeah, he should be a popular voice actor. He did very well in the series for what he needed to be. Like I remember the voice acting was not the weak point of that series at all.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, I don't even know why it really ended, other than I think they just lost funding for it.
Real quick, I wanted to go back to My Hero Academia, cause me, I would live in that world. I think it would be sick. I think I would be hopefully like one of the more of a main side cast character, like working besides not Toriyama, Midoriya. What's it called? Hopefully, I think if I could have any quirk, I would have aura manipulation, so I could probably be like a Super Saiyan or something, do some Kamehamehas, and hopefully my hair would go up too, or something like that, like a Super Saiyan. Hang on, what the heck just happened? I got some music playing. I don't know.
I think your quirk would actually just be called aura and manipulation.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I think that's what it would be.
Yeah,
you'd be able to do
I'll
that.
do something like that. So my hair would go up too when I'm using my aura, like a Super Saiyan, and turn blonde. I think that'd be sick. And then the last thing about this world I wanted to bring up with you guys, for your quirk, because this show is really good. In most animes, if you have a superpower, you just have a superpower and that's it. but in this one they were really good on drawbacks. Like, what would be your drawback of your quirk? Like Deku, he had to, like, every time he used it at full strength, his body couldn't handle it. So he'd have like a busted arm, a busted finger. What's it called? They had, like, they were really good on drawbacks, like stuff like that. So what would your guys' quirks drawbacks be? I guess for mine, like, if I used any aura manipulation, I would be like
Could be like Broly.
dehydrated.
My dick size shrinks by 1/4 of an inch.
Oh, dude, I would never use my quirk ever, yo.
Why would you
Oh.
self-impose that?
I'm dead, bro.
They talk about
Oh.
worst work, like some of the worst work, like one of those, like, yeah, you'll live if you use the power, but the setback is just so permanent.
So what happens if you're down to 0?
Oh
You
man,
keep using it.
Let's go the other way. Is that
no one's ever done it to find out.
I guess that's true.
Oh god, bro.
Well, what if the thing is, like, if you go a long time without using it, does it grow back? Huh?
Oh, that would be
yeah.
better. That would at least be
That's
better.
an idea. That's an idea.
Yeah.
So, like, for a while, you go around with, like, I used up all my power. I can't go into a public locker room for a while.
It's like Ken doll down there. You're just like, man, I can't wait till it comes back.
I beat him, but I feel so ashamed.
Oh man. That's hilarious, bro.
No, but that kind of drawback already kind of exists if you think about, like, Luffy and fucking Goku.
Oh, yeah.
They get
Third
super
gear.
hungry. Yeah, they get super hungry when they if they use too much of it.
Or he
Like,
shrinks. He used
yeah.
to shrink anyway. Yeah.
So yeah, that would be a fair. I feel like mine of invisibility is both a good ability and a drawback at the same time. Like, I don't know if
Yeah.
that would need a drawback.
You can take friendly fire and stuff, so invisibility on its own is almost sucks in a way. But it should still have some sort of drawback, but it, like you said, inherently kind of does.
Okay.
Unless you might have to be naked. Unless you're
Yeah,
like
she-
Violet from Incredibles.
Yep, she has to be naked,
Mm.
Yeah.
which
Well,
I
I
would
think-
go with the same way.
Churro just wants to be naked, is what his
Hell yeah.
7 Ninja, what would
Um,
your drawback be for your shadows?
So it really depends on which origami I'm thinking about. Because if I go with the first one, like, being in any kind of like light source is a problem. But if I go for like the second one, like if I'm in a light source, like it'll drain my power. But if I'm in the second one, being in a light source isn't in itself isn't a bad thing. It's just that how would I put it? It's my power recharges faster when I'm inside of some kind of dark area. And so I guess my issue would be more like Tokiyami's, in a sense of I need to recharge. I have to. So I can probably store some and then use it there, but then like a battery, I'm gonna have to recharge at some point.
Okay. Makes sense. Nathan, what would your drawback be to your crap? What was your quirk again?
I've had that shadow like
Shadow.
demon thing that was going on.
Oh,
I guess
yeah.
if the shadow part is important to that power, then light and day would be my kryptonite, or light
Yes.
and darkness, right? Like if there's no shadows, if I'm in pitch black, I guess I wouldn't be able to use my power, right? Because everything's dark.
Well, actually, I think if it was like the dude from My Hero, I think he got stronger in the darkness, but he couldn't really control it as much.
Oh, that's
the
right.
more stronger it got.
Yeah.
Yep, it did have something to tie it in with the light, and so they already built in his kind of. But they never really super punish in that series too
No, they
hard. It
don't.
seems like they all abuse the power like crazy, and they never really have a permanent result from it,
Mhm.
with the
Well, we
exception
see
of
enough
course,
like
All
training
Might.
arcs
Yeah.
We see
I
enough
am
training
Legend.
arcs still on that, so I think it kind of like gets pushed back because of that. I guess my question on this would be, what do you think would be, what do you think would your evolved version of your power would be like?
What would be a what?
Evolved version of your
Evolved?
power.
Oh, okay.
Like, you know, when they get stressed, enough battles have happened or enough usage, their powers seem to change. In some shape or form. So, not Tomo. What's her name? The girl that likes Deku, like needs the blood. Like she's able to.
Oroka.
No, not Araka. The other one. Tomo. Tomo.
Oh, Toga. Toga.
Toga.
Toga.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah,
yes. Oh,
Toga.
yes. Yeah.
Yeah, like so she's able to like shoot. This is a spoiler, but she's
Fine.
able to use their powers for a short period of time. So
Mhm.
now, so like what would your evolved version of your power be? Your quirk?
So,
What do you think it might be?
since I already chose invisibility, they have that actually in the anime. A small spoiler, but it turns out that the invisible girl, the reason she's invisible is because she can manipulate light. And so she at some point in the anime or in the manga, whichever you watch, she actually can manipulate beams of light that some characters use to attack. Like she can reflect them back. And so I think for me, that invisibility, that would be the evolved form of like, I'm not just invisible, I'm invisible because I'm manipulating the light around me. And so I can manipulate light sources. Not light sources, but kind of like light around me as well.
Real quick, I Am Legend says his quirk would be insane speed, so he'd be like the Flash. The drawback would be I have to eat a lot for energy, or else he would just fall asleep. I like that one.
I feel like that works on both ends because then you can just eat what you want. Kind
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
of like
Isn't
a
there a
drawback
character like
bonus,
that?
you know?
Yeah, Flash is kind of already like that.
No, not
Lita.
There's a Sugar
Lita.
Rush guy.
Oh, Sugar Rush. Yes, yes.
Oh, and then Yida, Yida or Lita, the dude with the glasses. He's super speed.
Oh yeah,
Mm-hmm,
yeah.
mm-hmm.
He has
His
like rocket.
He
legs.
burns out if he goes too fast.
Yes, his
Yes.
engine burns out.
To go back to your point though, Seven Ninja, or your question, I guess like I was thinking like a quick I guess I could use less water in my body to input more energy for my aura manipulation. I feel like that's too easy and simple. So I was thinking my evolved version would be I can manipulate other people's aura and kind of like either gain it, put it back into me, or like shrink their aura so I can weaken someone, you know, an enemy
You
or
can
something.
you can shrink their dick size.
Oh my god, bro.
Effective power for half the population, maybe.
I can damage their ego with it.
Yeah.
Make them not want to fight me no more.
Oh, you're gonna fight. Hold on. What's going on? I give up. You win.
Make it back. Go back. I don't know. It's like that
Yeah.
dream.
I was thinking maybe I could just like weaken other people or give my aura to other people to make them stronger as like my evolved version.
That'd be pretty cool. I'll dig it.
Nate?
Oh, I went full genius on mine, and
Yeah.
my evolved shadow. He might already have it. I haven't actually watched the whole series, so they might have actually shown more of his power that I've seen. But I would just have my demon shadow form get its own demon shadow too. And so it has to deal with it too, you know, and it's just ridiculously powerful. No, I don't know what I would do with it. The idea of it being able to sprout its own entities that it has to control does sound kind of like an interesting power, but it's kind of redundant.
I feel like his power really before I go on to mine, I feel like his power it really as it would evolve, I feel like his ability to handle it kind of like Broly. If you guys are caught up on the manga at all, Broly's over time he's getting better at controlling his power. And so I feel like his evolution, Tokiyama, would more or less be like I can be in darkness a lot more, and I can get I can tolerate more and more power over time. Is what I think your power would really work like.
Mhm.
But for mine, I guess if I had said before that I would have to recharge as my drawback, that doesn't really change. So I guess for me, what it would more likely be is being able to put up some kind of temporary, basically I'm putting up a shade, and I can throw it up into the air and block off the sunlight from an area. So before it's kind of like I have to stick it on something, but now I can kind of make myself a kind of prism of some kind if I need to, so that I can cover an area and block out sunlight.
So you can be
You
still
know,
be
the
strong
vampire's
in the
best
sun.
friend. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking like for your guys' Nate and Seven Ninja, like a cool evolution would be like even in the sun, there's still shadows around, but they're just like kind of out in the distance. I was thinking maybe you guys can absorb the shadows toward you to still be strong in the sunlight as like an evolution. That'd be kind of a cool evolution.
Dude, every time I see something where that happens, I'm like, how? Like, how does that happen?
Like a Shikamaru, how his shadow stretches. You guys can just stretch other shadows toward you to be stronger or something.
The whole
No,
like
no, I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying. I just there's some shows I've seen where they're just outright still in the shadow. Like, how am I still his shadow?
the whole shadow thing. If you think about it, like there's always there is no situation where there isn't a shadow unless you're just flooding a light with a room. I don't even know how you would do it. It'd be pretty hard to be a shadowless situation.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, so that's basically all I wanted to. So now that we're kind of done with the My Hero, now we can move on to Seven Ninjas. Go ahead, Seven Ninja. I think you said was Grand Blue your world?
Yeah, Grand Blue was my world. Also, before we continue on, so if you guys could name an anime at the end, name an anime that you're watching, or name at least two if you can. But if you only got one, name an anime that you're watching. And Squall, at the end of this, I also think you should tell what the next in between is going to be on. I think that'd be a good idea. Regardless, but Grand Blue, it's a steampunk slash aetherpunk world. I'd love to live there if I'm going to be there. And again, probably got to fight a god. Probably got to deal with demons and devils and stuff too. But yeah, Grand Blue. I'll be all right.
I kind of forgot like what this world is about. Like, can you give us another like? I think you said like ships and fighting gods.
Oh,
You ever play
God
Final
ships.
Fantasy?
Yes.
Go ahead, Nate.
I mean, I was assuming with a name like Squall, you've played Final Fantasy.
Yes, yes, I have.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, it's essentially Grand Blue and Final Fantasy's worlds are not very different, if I recall.
You got floating islands. Each island might be like a specific biome of some kind, desert, lava, ice. You know, just whatever. There's some places where it's just a giant ocean. And outside of that, you're basically on sky ships and you just travel to different islands, stuff like that. Some people have their own ships, and some people will need to get on ferries. It just depends.
Okay. I think we started with Churro last time, so now we'll start with Nate first.
On
Nate,
the
would you
Grand
live in
Blue
this
scheme?
world? Yes.
Oh man, that sounds fun. If like I said, I compare it to Final Fantasy, like not all of them. There's some that are more like Grand Blue than others, but the Grand Blue world looks really fun as far as the tech and the era. I don't know if I'd be born in the slums or if I was a main character, I guess it'd be Blast, but like Ninja says, I'd probably end up getting hijacked by the protagonist. Yeah, inevitably. It doesn't sound like there's I don't know if they have a lot of side characters that don't get involved with the main character that you still run across. Most games do, I'd imagine, or most worlds do. Unfortunately, I don't know enough of Grand Blue to really. I've heard a lot about it. I've got a lot of friends that like it, but I've never ever actually investigated it myself.
Nate, look at it this way: if you look unique in any shape or form, you're getting picked up. All right. The average. You see the NPC. There's a guy, and every time I see it, like there he is again. There he is again with a different shirt on. Oh, he's got a mustache this time. All right. There he is again. Happens every time. But for Nate, what race would you choose to be?
What races are there?
Well, it'd probably be a good idea. Pull it up for everybody. So there's draft. The draft have their men are big and bulky and look hulkish in like a size kinda. Their women are they're about the equivalent to a teenager in height. I'm talking about like adult women are about the equivalent to teenager in height. When we're talking about Harvins, they're basically like dwarves, about the size of a kid. But they have like kid versions that look. They're kind of hard to tell. I'm gonna be real with you. The humans look pretty. The humans somewhat vary in size sometimes, but a lot of them kind of have a uniform height with each other. So male and female are pretty good. And then there's the Dag. I don't see them a lot, but the cat-eared people. I forgot their name. I'm not gonna lie. They're pretty. Arun. They're pretty uniform, I believe.
I see.
So it looks like you got giant race drafts. You got the dwarves, Harvin. You got the cat people, Arun, and you got humans.
Man, they'd all be fun, right? Like the human one, we've already played that game. But the Arun, if you want to come back as sex incarnate, that doesn't look like it'd be a bad deal. But if you come back as a draft, like if I did draft, like it's the idea of being a giant, muscular anything. Everyone wants to be Macho Man or the Big Show or whatever the popular wrestler of the era is. Harvin, I think, would be the one I wouldn't go with. As cute as they are, it just looks like it would suck to always be small.
There's a whole character that has the whole issue with being small too. So like, always there's a box somewhere. I've never figured that one out. What about the rest of you?
Sure, I'll go ahead.
Initially, I would say no. I wouldn't want to live in Grand Blue just because I have a fear of heights. But like, it's not the worst. Like, I don't have to take the ferry anywhere. It looks like I can just have a home and just live there.
Yeah.
Right. So, like, I wouldn't see it as a bad thing. And like, sure, I would do it. Wouldn't be my first place because scared of heights. But if I got to be a cat person, absolutely, hell yeah, I'm in. You can throw me in. I will.
For me, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I will always say yes to being a cat person.
For me, I would definitely live in this world. I think it looks really cool. I'm gonna bring up some pictures of the world again for like the viewers out there. Grand Blue world. I think it looks sick. I also have like a fear of heights, but I think like if I'm born in this world, like you would kind of get over that quick. I think I'm like a really big fan of like fantasy worlds, like soaring the skies, finding like cool fantasy like islands and shit like that, having superpowers. I think that's really sick. Like what race I would be? Let's see. Let me go back to that. At first, I wanted to be like the Arun, the cat people, like, cause like I'm really big fan of like speed builds, speed characters in like video games, but I just don't like his sissy outfit he's got on. He's got like a skirt.
Good outfit.
Yeah, I'm not really feeling that. So I'd probably pick either human or the draft. Like mainly draft because they're different. They look like he's got like a big bulky body. I'm not really a big fan of like slow builds. But if I was to actually be this character, I could be like strong. That'd be kind of cool to be.
When I first heard you say
Man.
that race, I thought you said giraffe.
Yeah,
I was like, they have a giraffe race?
Yeah.
That sounds kind of badass. I want to see what that looks like.
Well,
Any
look up
other
a guy called
questions?
Gan Dagoza.
Huh?
You'd probably like him. I feel like you'd train under him. Gan Dagoza. Gan goes. I'm posting in our little chat. I believe that's how you spell it.
Okay. Good looks. Good looks.
Gan Dagoza. I feel like you train under that guy.
Shadowverse? Grand Blue.
Uh,
Oh, he's kind of cool looking. He reminds me of Akuma from Street Fighter.
Yeah, like I feel like you train under him. He's got like there's so many like hand-to-hand fighters in there, and I feel like you probably like him. He's like all about like kind of with the idea of just being stronger, building your power, and I feel like that's something you're okay. Click on that real quick.
Yeah, I'm just showing.
Whatever this is.
I'm just showing
Okay.
Nate and Tro what Gandagoza looks like. He kind of reminds me of Akuma, especially in this picture right here.
Kind of like Ifritish almost with the horns, but more oxen-like.
You big dude.
Yeah, he's pretty dope looking.
Hmm. But I feel like him specifically, like if you've ever looked up any gameplay on Gandagoza, he's all about building his raw power and just like putting out as much as he can in one single hit. And so I feel like you'd probably train under him if you were to be a draft or anything in there.
Okay. So we've been going for a while. It's almost 9 over here for me. I got to get some food in me.
I gotcha.
So I'm gonna go ahead and dip, or I don't know if you're gonna end this anytime soon, man. But I gotta dip.
I'll be heading out at 9, so I'll be here for another like 15, 20.
Yeah.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
okay.
no, it was good talking to you guys. I'll catch you guys. We went for quite a while here, almost
Yeah.
3 hours now.
Yeah, we went pretty long.
If you want to
Oh.
end it here, I'd be fine with it, but it's up to y'all.
We'll just go over Nathan and mine's worlds real quick, and then we'll end it.
Cool.
All right, but I'll catch you guys later. I have to start
Sure.
preparing.
Wait
food.
before you leave.
What's up?
Anime you're watching.
Anime I'm watching. I'm watching right now. Train to the End of the World, and
Mhm.
now this is the second one I'm watching. I'm kind of rewatching it just because I love all the anime. Gushing over magical girls, but I don't recommend any of you watch that with people.
I got you. I understand.
You watch that in a room alone with the shame you have.
No windows.
No windows. But yes, those are the 2 animes I'm watching right now. All right.
All right.
I'll
get some
catch you
food.
guys
See you
later.
later.
Yeah.
Later, Churro. All right, Nate. What's your world?
All right, so like just because Toriko's kind of niche, even though it was pretty popular, the other one I was gonna go with, and we'll just jump on it real quick, but y'all should be way more familiar with this one, is the Hunter x Hunter world. Have any of you watched Hunter x Hunter?
Yes.
I know a little bit about it.
All right, so it's a radical world too. I'd put it in the same kind of comparison as like One Piece as far as weird superpowers. And a lot of people have them, but not everybody. And Hunter x Hunter is one of those neat worlds where even normal people can sort of still be badasses, even if you don't have an inherent skill. They seem to have the ability to find someone, and you can partner up. It seems to happen quite often. Unlike the Dragon Ball Z trait, where you only see Goku hanging out with the most powerful people on the planet. You don't see him hanging out with the norms, And in Toriko's world, you don't have that problem, which is why I thought it'd be kind of a fun world as well. You have the superpower people. Like I said, we're going back between Hunter x Hunter and Toriko, but one of the reasons I like both of them is you have people, very normal people, that usually pair up with someone who's very powerful. And so you still get to be, even if you're born normal, you're still going to be able to have a chance in that universe of kind of living that superhero life. You could be a Krillin. You know.
Yeah, Hunter x Hunter is like Dragon Ball Z with like aura manipulation and stuff, but
Yep, a
it's
lot of
got like
that's in there.
it's a more serious tone. Like there's like Goku is like immediately the strongest. Then you got like all the strongest people becoming part of the team. But with like Hunter x Hunter, it's just like you don't get that feeling of like the main character is the strongest. Like there's like always dudes like levels above this guy, the main character,
Yep.
and like it doesn't feel like he'll ever like reach that because you got like Hisoka, you got like the King of Ants that's like way too powerful. It's like a scary
Mhm.
world. Like I would live in it, but I also don't want to live with it because it's just so scary. Like
Their
how much
dragon,
stronger these guys
their their
are.
sh- their Shinra get back from the dead hack kind of thing is way more scary. Uh, and what I'm talking about is like there's that one person that has that power where you can kind of request something, but that same person can also just request you do something, and if you don't do it, you just die. You know, it's a very severe penalty. And I like their wish system that they came up with to try to fix one of the heroes in the anime at some point. Their Dragon Ball quest was how do I say it? Way more dangerous. The
Yeah. Where you're talking
and
about when
you know the
Kahlua
part
had to
I'm
bring his
talking about.
sister, right? Back to
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
Yeah.
She that was actually really well done. I thought that was a neat way to do uh the Shinra thing. Collect Dragon Balls, make a wish, get everything you want. Well, you have to have a pretty severe penalty for that sort of power. And her penalty power ratio was really well done.
Yeah, so for Seven Ninja, one of the main characters has a sister that can grant any wish, but the more vain the wish, the more of a punishment you'll like the like a request like the sister does. Like let's say someone wishes for $1 million, and then to the next person, the sister asks for, hey, like I need you to cut off a hand, and then like three really tough punishments. All right, I need you to slice off a foot, or I need you to kill somebody, like stuff like that. So, but like let's say like once the three, like if you fail to do these three requests, you die basically. And then like let's say the next person after the requests are done, this person like wishes for like let's just say like a full head of hair or
Immortality?
something. No,
Oh yeah, full head of
something
hair.
very simple. Something very simple. Like so then after this wish comes, then like this person, the sister goes to the next person and be like, hey, like I need like just one pluck of hair. I need like you to rip off a fingernail. Like more easier like punishments because like the last wish was like not as like severe, you know.
Mhm.
So like spoilers, but like the main character does like something where he confines his his uh his
Power.
timeline, like his whole timeline's like peak power into like one fight, and like in return he becomes like on the verge of death and he can't do anything, and to
Like it takes the main character out of the anime. It's one of the few animes that does this.
and so they did like a whole arc on like his best friend bringing his sister to wish his to the main character back to life basically. And like it becomes this whole mission because like his brother and like all these other enemies are trying to stop him that are way stronger than him, and it's a really good like arc. I really enjoyed that arc.
Yeah, the maid power is a little funny to watch, but you remember what's her name that basically could turn into a motorcycle?
Oh
There's
yeah.
there's some strange powers in it, but so does one. One Piece has some really bizarre powers too. So if you can watch one, you can watch the other usually.
Cause so I really I really enjoyed it, but it's like damn bro, like would I live in this one? I'm like on the fence just cause it's so like it's it's so tough to live in this world. I like, even if I'm like part of the main
There's some
cast,
dark
I'm not
parts.
gonna
Yeah.
be. Yeah, there's some dark parts. Even if I'm part of the main cast, part of the strongest of the main cast, I'm probably not gonna live. Like, that world is tough.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't
Yeah.
know about that one.
Unlike DBZ, the side characters and main characters might die. You know? That world is rough.
On this topic, so besides Hunter x Hunter, worlds that you don't want to live in, no easy answers.
Berserk.
Definitely. Yeah. Oh, that was my first
That's
answer.
an
Berserk.
easy
Yep.
answer.
That's a
Easy
that's
answer.
a yeah. Lovecraftian horror
Oh.
film is what that world is.
I'll go first. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
That's
Whether
a
we're
good one.
talking about the first season or the last season, in any shape or form, I could die out of nowhere. I would have no idea what happened. Matter of fact, the ocean. Okay, if I'm on a ship, did you guys see when they dropped was it Notorious B.I.G. or whatever? Anyway, some kind of a stand monster is in the middle of the ocean. They didn't kill that rascal. They killed the owner, but they can't kill the stand. So that stand's still in the ocean until the world rewipe. And if I'm in that universe and I just happen to be on the ocean someday, wherever that thing is, and that thing's still growing, by the way. It hasn't stopped growing. I don't want to be there. Okay, all right. But and then there's like Dios, zombies.
Yeah. I haven't watched, so
Again-
not I
Go ahead.
wouldn't call myself a JoJo fan, but I have watched, I want to say, two different seasons of JoJo's.
Mhm.
The first one, I think the oldest one, the first original with the dog and Dio and all that stuff, and then I saw the one after that with the yo-yo. The main character has a yo-yo. And
Yeah,
then
yeah, number two.
those are the only two I've seen. But my friends, they love it. They would always do, when they do a stand, they usually have a weird pose, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I used to run around with a group of friends that they would actually, at conventions, they would go off and do this panel where all the fans would just try to see if they could do the stand poses, if they knew them all and if they could do them. It was kind of goofy,
I've seen someone
but
do
kind of funny.
Dios. I've seen someone do Dios like super far back. Like it was
Yeah.
unreal.
Yeah, some of the poses are just almost inhuman. I don't know if you can, but
Let's see. I think. Hang on. I wanted to go over like my world I wanted to live in real quick. I'm like kind of tied between Dragon Ball Z and Attack on Titan. Obviously.
Titan.
Yeah, like Dragon
oh
Ball Z.
wow,
Dragon Ball Z, like obviously, I want to be a Super Saiyan. That's like one of that's like a common goal for like, many men to become a Super Saiyan.
yeah.
But Attack on Titan, I'll explain this one. This one is because like the ODM gear, like that would be really cool to use, just fly all over the place. Like, I don't know. I just think it's really sick how they used like that stuff, and like the double swords. I think like how they spin around like Beyblades and slice like Titans is really sick.
It was
So you're
just
gonna become Levi.
Yes, I want to be a Levi.
You better be
That'd
Levi.
cool. I want to be Levi. That would be
You're gonna become
awesome.
a snack.
Man.
But like also that would be kind of scary. That could like add into Seven Ninjas question of what worlds do I not want to live in, because like I might not be a Levi. Most more likely than not, I'm not gonna be Levi. I'm gonna get captured. Like I'm gonna get like caught in midair, mid-flight, and just swallowed. I think that'd be
Maybe a baker.
terrifying. A baker?
Yeah, I'm not gonna be a wall guard.
Well, I
Not
think
that
that'd
way.
be a terrifying experience to behold. Just be caught in midair, like, oh shit, I'm screwed. You know that 5 to 10 seconds between being caught and then slowly being put into like a Titan, like being eaten. I think that'd be freaking terrifying.
A human-like thing eating another human-like thing is kind of it's kind of like a weird primal fear. Weird. It triggers part of the brain different. And I think that's why Attack on Titan kind of got popular right away, is the idea of other people eating smaller people. It's not in other animes.
I agree with that.
Mhm.
It has that shock factor.
Mm-hmm. They don't hold back in the first season, Like the first season was kind of slow, but when they hit it, when they finally hit the gas, that that episode just takes off.
Yeah. Oh damn, bro. It's like episode 5 when they killed off Aaron and like his whole squad, bro. Oh damn, bro. I like usually I'll like when I watched it on like Saturdays on Cartoon Network, Adult Swim. I'll watch like seasons like week to week. But like I heard it was on Netflix and I was like, I'm just gonna watch week to week. But once I saw that episode, I was like, bro, what the fuck? I gotta watch the rest. Like, what happened?
There's a really great parody of Attack on Titan if you haven't watched it, which I think is the parody of Attack on Titan. If you just YouTube it, it should be the most highest hit, oldest one. But it's a gem to watch if you haven't watched it. If you've watched Attack on Titan, you'll really like the parody. It came out when and there's a lot of parodies, I'm sure, but the one I'm talking about, like I said, should be the most popular one.
Cool.
It kind of filled in the spot because for a while there it was dragging with new seasons, new content. It came out with like season 1, and then like season 2 was, I think like it came out with like half of season 2, and then that was it for like I think 4 or 5 years it felt like. And in that period of time, they did some really great parodies because there was nothing else to do. And so if you wanted to see anything new content-wise for Attack on Titan, you just had to watch fan-made parodies. And so there's actually quite a few of them because of the way that anime came out.
All right.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'll definitely give that a check. But that's my world. All right. I think now's a good time to call it. So I think we can do the closing thoughts and 7 Ninjas questions. We'll do 7 Ninjas questions first. What were they again?
What was the anime? Like, what animes are you watching right now? Pretty much. Like one, or if you can give two, give two. But if you only got one, go ahead.
I'll go first here. So I just finished it, and so technically I'm not watching it anymore. But right up until a couple days ago was Delicious in Dungeons. It's something about anime and food. Yeah,
I've heard about that.
They have a really great formula for you want to grab something good to eat, sit down, and watch an episode of Delicious in Dungeons. You look forward to it, and because it deals with food, you really kind of make an effort to have something unique or different or something you like to eat with it. And that association makes a really strong connection when you do that every week. And so that anime becomes really good for that reason. The characters are also really well done. Marcel, I think, is the name of that blonde elf that you see there. She is one of the best female done characters in anime of all time, in my opinion. She is not fan service. She is not too far one way, too far. She seems like a real person in an anime. It's the hardest way to describe her. But I think Marcel is one of the best done characters in an anime I've ever done because she just seems real. She just seems like she's well written, she's well voice acted, and the way she reacts to stuff is it's neither annoying or over the top, but it's kind of like this is what her character would do. They wrote her very well. All the characters are wrote well, but she's one of the ones I think was done the best because they managed to make a female that doesn't steal the show. Usually that's what happens when you only have the one girl in any anime, is she's so cute that that's what you think about all the time. But she's actually really well balanced as far as her time on screen with all the others. And if any, and they have room for more female roles later on. So it does seem like kind of male centric for a while, then eventually it does kind of even out a little bit later on. And so just keep watching if you're like, this is just a bunch of dudes. It's only one chick.
Nice. I did see like an episode or two of that. I think I like fell asleep and woke up to it or something.
It's a slow start, but I would do it like what most people do is that I know is like find something you want to eat, and then whenever you have a good meal, play the next episode of Delicious in Dungeons and just kind of eat along as you watch it, and eventually you're just gonna you're gonna go hungry because you're gonna run out of delicious in dungeons you won't want to eat anymore. Nothing to watch.
I noticed you bring up a lot of food animes.
just around this time of day is usually when I cook, and I'm eating when I sit down, and so it's on my mind as I'm talking to you is because I've literally just got done cooking, and it's just a timing thing usually.
All right, the anime that I've been watching lately is Shangri-La Frontier, like a virtual reality game where the main character, they call it like I forget what the term was they called it, but he like plays these games where like they're really shitty games, bugs and all, and he grinds it out and completes them all 100%, and finally like someone like introduces him to a really good game, and it's Shangri-La Frontier, and he's like, all right, screw it, I'll play like a mainstream game, like a AAA title, whatever. And like it doesn't have like high stakes like Sword Art Online where he dies or something, but it's like pretty cool to watch. He's like a bird face.
It's been recommended to me. I've seen this recommended. It's been highly recommended.
Blue
What about
bird?
you, Seven Ninja?
You talking about a blue bird face?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Me, well, I finished this like a few days ago. Hell's Paradise. Have you guys seen that already? But Hell's Paradise is basically the Shogun sent the basically death row criminals over to an island to receive the I believe it's the fountain, basically the fountain of eternal youth. I forgot what they called it specifically, but it's basically the fountain of eternal youth. And basically every time they sent like regular guards over, they always came back with flowers, basically a virus of some kind that just overfilled the body of that guard. And it's supposed to be in some form of way a paradise, but it's also very like, well, it tells paradise. It's very there's a lot of demons. There's a lot of things there that could basically kill you in one hit. Anything could kill you at any moment. And then like while the prisoners are there, they're being watched by basically executioners to make sure they're doing their job. And so it's in a formal way, it's basically a battle royale. At the same time, it's they're on a mission. All of them are on a mission, and it's basically the first one to get that plant or whatever wins.
Okay,
Yeah,
looks
this
pretty
one.
good.
When did this
I was
come
looking
out?
up some pictures of it. It looks like something I'd watch.
Highly rated.
Now, this show is more about that hand-to-hand, that sword-on-sword game, gameplay, fighting, and so like it's not Naruto. There are some jutsus and there are some things like powers that are kind of there, but for the most part, it's gonna feel very down to earth. And whenever you do see something, it's gonna because it's a very important moment. You know what I mean? And so I like it so much because of that reason alone.
Everything holds a lot of weight. It sounds like.
Yeah. But has everyone said everything?
No, I think I'm good.
Yep. So now you said you wanted us to sneak peek. So next weekend is the Dragon Ball Z Great Nimbus Debates podcast, where it's debates focused, Dragon Ball Z focused, and then every other week it's like kind of alternates. So in 2 weeks, it's back to this one, the in-betweens anime, video game, discussion focused one. So in the next in-betweens one, we're going to be discussing, I can't remember if we came up with any
Kaiju number 8
games. Yeah, I know the anime we're going to like discuss is Kaiju number 8. I haven't started watching it yet. The homie Pope King from the last Dragon Ball Z podcast was on last weekend. I was watching him stream some Kaiju number 8, and it looked really good. So I'm definitely interested in watching that. I'm really excited to watch that one and discuss that one. But other than that, we don't have like any other like topics like yet we're set in stone on. Closing thoughts, guys. would you, like, out of everything we discussed, Anime Worlds, Porco Rosso, Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero, if you guys have anything on that, go ahead and give your final closing thoughts.
Nah, I'm pretty good.
We're good. We're
Yeah,
good.
All right, good talking. Thanks for the invite. Enjoyed it. I don't know who raided, but I appreciate the raid. Make sure you give them a shout and chat.
Mm-hmm.
Where
Definitely.
can we
What was the
find you,
name?
Nate?
Let's say I've yet to create my own entity, so I'm still working on that.
I got you. Thanks.
But it is in the
Um,
works. Eventually, I'll have a little Churo-chan companion. Maybe not quite Churo-chan style, but eventually I'll have my own little V mod I'm working on.
You can find me at 7 into 7 on Rumble, MeWe, Game Jolt. Most places that you'll see my name, I'm most likely there. Just if I don't respond to you, more than likely, that's dead to me. So anyway, thanks for coming by, and check me out in these different locations.
Yes, sir. Yep. And it's your boy Squall Rush. If you're watching on Rumble, I'm also on YouTube, Twitch, DLive, Kick, Trovo, a lot of things. Vice versa for all the other platforms. Squall Rush on everything except for Twitch. I'm Squall TDB there. Yeah. I want to thank everybody for watching. This has been a good, lengthy podcast, our longest one yet, I think. Hope everyone has a good one, and peace.
All right. Out.